Somebody come get your boy. Come get your boy. I thought I told you that he won't stop. I thought I told you that he won't stop. Shout out to everybody in the building. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button. We're about to get into this. Make sure you hit the like button, whether you're catching it live or you're catching it after it's uploaded. We're about to get into this. I watched the beginning of this, didn't watch the whole thing, but Hafeez wanted a rematch with Pearl, apparently. So we're here. We're piggybacking on the last live stream that I did, where the lead attorney did an excellent job picking apart two individuals on the Valuetainment Money show. Definitely did a good job. So we're about to get in there. Somebody said Hafeez was actually spot on. See, this is what I heard. I don't. This is my take on it. I haven't even seen all of it. My take on it is that he wasn't spot on. I think just like the last time I did, when everybody was saying Pearl won the first time they debated, I personally didn't think she did. I think his schizophrenic all over the place ramblings, just she was just like a deer in the headlights and didn't know what to say. So so that's what I thought on the first one. And then somebody I trust said that she didn't exactly fare well in this one. The parts that I watched of it, she did okay, but I think later in the show it probably kind of flipped, because I think he's good at tripping her up. I think she's good at dunking on the I feel like chicks, but Hafeez is kind of good. Hafeez is somebody who studied Red Pill and studied the counters to it. So it's like a special skill you got to have to go against somebody who's who studied the counter argument and is kind of a bullshit artist himself. I'm going to get into that and break all of that down. But let's get ready to go. Let's strap on in. Let's get ready to go. Where we at? Where's the intro? Let's get ready to go. Let's get it.
Peace, folks. This is X from TPOT Media. Open your mind and wake your black ass up. You know what time it is. Hit that damn like button as you make your way in the door. Grab a seat, settle in, get ready. It's the Grown Man Hour with your host, my man, Bernard Riley.
What's up? What's going on? We are back in the building. Shout out to everybody in here. Let me shout out to Early Bird Squad as we get things going. Shout out those that make it in bright and early before we get things started. Make sure you hit the like button, whether you're catching it live, you're catching it after it's uploaded. Shout out to J Mont in the building. Shout out to Paymay says, I see Hafeez got rid of them bright ass suits. That's part of his brand now. He has a brand or something called The Standard. He's trying to teach men how to be the man of the standard. And his suit line is called The Standard. But I think he got roasted on those suits to the point to where he figured he'd dial it back and keep it cool. And I'm with that. I mean, I like to wear a blazer here and there, but sometimes I, don't. Sometimes I wear a V-neck. Sometimes, just change it up. Just change it up. Try to look nice for your show, but I don't like to overdo it. I don't like to overdo it. Just like to find that medium ground, or just try to look nice. Just try to look nice. Be clean. Be clean. That's it. But Hafeez can't stop, won't stop. Thought I told you that he won't stop. I thought I told you that he won't stop. Van says Hafeez was actually spot on. Okay, we'll get into that. Ballers says Hafeez is a fool. Rematch with CGA. There's a little, I don't know if to call this controversy. But I know TLA wanted to be on that particular show with Hafeez. Hafeez didn't want him on there. Hafeez did not want TLA, the lead attorney, on there, under the guise of he wants to finish what was started with Pearl. Even though I think they finished it, he wanted to rehash that. He wanted to get that conversation going with her, or get it restarted with her, get a rematch with her, or whatever the excuse was. He didn't want TLA on there, and TLA is currently, I think, still probably in Miami, because that show is done in Miami. It's based in Miami, and TLA was just on it the previous night, so he was like, "What's up? let me get a piece of this." But I think Hafeez didn't want to do it. TD Hutch in the building says, "Let's go, let's get it. Get the likes up." Long Tong Song says, "Good brother. The good brother Bernard is live." Reese from Philly in the building. Christian in the building. I will respond to your text about that date that you talked about, and I'm going to let you know whether or not I think that date will work. I need to hear from Mike, paging Mike and Vince Perkins. I need to hear something from you, because me and you got some business too that may take place around that time. So I will be getting back to you today. On that one. We got a Megan Not the Stallion in here. What's going on? Shout out to everybody. Appreciate each and every one of you. Hafeez and Derek Jackson can't get right. Well, as of right now, only thing Hafeez is doing wrong is just some of the words that are coming out of his mouth. Derek Jackson has a whole nother level of wrong taking place in his life. So Hafeez don't got Derek Jackson problems yet. So I'm not gonna. He's doing like a different version of Derek Jackson. He's trying. He's doing a version of Derek Jackson where he's trying to take the red pill more head on, and he's trying to target men. Derek Jackson never targeted men as his audience. Derek Jackson targeted women, so he was just able to be fast, loose, and reckless. Hafeez has to make the fraudulent attempt of trying to make it make sense, because his target audience is men. When your target audience is men, the game is different, and the game is harder. He would probably do better if he targeted women. But let me go ahead and get on into this. I'm going to dive right in, because I'm not trying to hold y'all hostage or myself hostage for too long. I'm trying to punch and get out of this thing. I am trying to punch and get out. So I'm going to dive right into this bad boy. Let's go. That's a good point, Mac Globex. That is a good point. Says, if he really wants credibility, he would have debated TLA. Absolutely. Patriarchy strikes back. I have my issues with that as well, with what you're saying right there. More women speaking for men with a joke. One thing I can't control that there's a percentage of men who like to hear this information from women. And I can't control or criticize the fact that Pora built a really nice channel, and she attacked the fuck out of that algorithm. I can't deny that. My goal is to do what she did. And damn near exactly how she did it. So I can't fight the algorithm, and I can't control the market, but I do side eye men going to women to get the information. But put it like this: this is how messed up men are. This is how messed up men are. And I know somebody. He said it. He said it live on my show, so he don't mind me repeating it. Theo Waff, who was when he was so deep and just drowning in his greenness, his blue pillness, when he started seeing the light on all the bullshit he was going through, he was messing with women that he wasn't even sleeping with them. I don't even want to tell. I mean, he told the story on my show. He was making like I think like 15,000 a month, and it was and ended up homeless because he was doing so much for some women and was getting little to nothing in return. It was wild. It was a wild story how he ended up homeless. And when he started snapping out of that shit, going all the way back to even some of the trauma that came from his mama, when he started snapping out of that stuff, he was so drowning in it. He was so drowning in the delusion that when he heard men saying a lot of stuff that we say, he said he couldn't even accept it from men. He had to hear what's the name? What's that chick? You know, the what do they call themselves? The honey badgers or whatever. You know those chicks that were that I forgot who they were. I forgot the name of these. Sharon Strong or whatever, something. Y'all know these chicks. He had to, got something in my eye. He had to hear it from them. He had to hear it from a woman first. He had to hear it from a woman first before he could truly and accept it. And then he started, listening to the men to men channels and started listening to Sandman and I think Rolo, and then eventually made his way to the Black Manosphere. That's how gone some men are when it comes to this stuff. That's how gone some men are when it comes to come to this stuff. So yeah. So there's some men who like to hear it from women. Is what it is. Is what it is. But overall, the onus is on men who are doing this type of content. Like hell, like Fresh and Fit. They came up with a strategy, they plot, plan, strategize, executed, million subs. Kevin Samuels, plot, plan, strategize, executed, million subs. Pearly Things saw what they did. She plot, plan, strategize, executed, million subs. Well, closing in on it. Yeah, so some I do. Let me explain this to you, because you be always asking, is this live? If it says premiere, it's not live. If it says live or scheduled live, it's live. So all you got to do is look right there. It tells you. It tells you whether I'm live or not. It tells you whether I'm live or not. The premiere, if it says premiere, then you know. But all right, we're about to get into this. I don't know if I got it set at exactly the right moment, so bear with me when I get things set up here.
Communication is very easy to like kind of demonize the other side, but to be willing to continue to talk.
That you came out.
Of course.
Anything that you want to say or establish or set the ground rules or anything like that?
Of course. Nah, first and foremost, man, I just want to thank Adam, man. Adam's my guy, for facilitating this conversation. I think what we need more in today's society is conversation. I also want to shout out Pearl for being willing to have this conversation. I think sometimes when it's
Jermaine West says, Bernard, look at Angry Man. Yeah. Angry Man plot, plan, strategized, came up with a strategy and executed. He really came with the same strategy that I did. I don't know if I did it first or he did it first, but it was happening parallel at the same time. He just did it better than me, because I had 12,000 subs, and it's like overnight, I'll probably have 26,000 subs by the end of today from doing those shorts. Angry Man took it to the next level. He was doing 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of them per day. I was just doing like two of them per day. Sometimes take a day off. Sometimes I'll drop 3 or 4 in one day and take a couple days off and do 1 per day, 2 per day. Nah, if you really want to hit that algo, you got to jump on it like Angry Man did. So yeah, there's plenty of ways to blow up a channel. There's plenty of ways to blow up a channel, and don't start calling everybody simps because a chick figured out a way to hit that algo. I don't go there. I don't go there. Yep, Angry Man is putting in serious work. Angry Man is putting in serious work. Just like Pearl put in serious work. When people put in serious work, they win. That's just all to it. Fresh and Fit put in serious work. Kevin Samuels put in serious work and built an amazing show. That's how it works. And sometimes you can put in that work and you may not win. That's life. But people who put in that work, they tend to win. So that's why I understand where Patriarchy Strikes Back was coming from, where he said, why a woman speaking for us. But the fact of the matter is, a woman speaking for men. The fact of the matter is, she built a platform and she figured out that YouTube algorithm. That's just all it is. Said you should. I don't want to see women empowered. That includes YouTube. Right on. Right on. But all right, let's get into it. Let's get into this.
Misunderstandings and miscommunications is very easy to like kind of demonize the other side. But to be willing to continue to talk, that's very admirable of you. And I'm very excited about the conversation today. So Pearl, thank you so much.
That's awesome.
You said it's kind of easy to demonize the other side. Like you came in that last debate and just, you basically you pulled right up on her and basically said she's a grifter pandering to men. You basically said all red pill content creators are basically just grifters in it for the money. They don't really believe what they're saying. They're not like you came out. This is where the bullshit of Hafeez comes in. He's saying well, because it's really easy to demonize the other side or this or that. That's literally what you tried to do. You literally tried to do that. Like, damn.
Also, respect. And again, I'm here to help establish open discord. Are there going to be things you agree upon? Sure. Are there going to be things you disagree upon? That's all good. This is what we do here. And at the end of the day, the whole premise of a debate isn't to establish, who won or who lost. It's not about that. It's what the audience can take from this. Yeah. So Malik, if we can turn Hafeez up a little bit, because I just want to make sure that his audience.
I disagree. In a debate, it does matter who wins or who loses. I disagree with that.
That's good. So let's just start off with probably the question everybody's asking is, so last time you guys had a conversation, it turned in from a conversation to a dialogue. Some call it a debate. Very spirited, a lot of opinions, who won, who lost, person got triggered, this, that, the other. Some person was like gaslighting the other. So a lot of people say that
some person was gaslighting the other. Look at you laughing. Like Adam, I just found out his name today. Adam being real nice right there. One person right there gaslighting the other.
Hafeez, you got triggered in this situation, and then maybe you were condescending to Pearl. These are what people are saying, okay? But I also know that you're a very emotional guy. Like, you wear your heart on your sleeve. You're passionate. So I feel like some people don't maybe not know that about you. Even like behind the scenes, you're like, yo, what up, bro?
Pearl is wearing the same dress from the other video with TLA. Pygmies don't have to change clothes. To be fair, I halfway noticed. That thought came in my head, but I didn't fully conceptualize that. But the dude got on the same suit. So wait, no, hold on. No shit. I was about to say they film it all. I don't know if this was live or a premiere. Okay, if it was live, if both of them were shot live on 2 separate days, you got her. If one of them was live and the other was a premiere, then you don't got her. Because there are times when I may go live today wearing this, what I got on right now. But if I go after the live show, if I pre-record something and then premiere it for tomorrow, I'm going to have on the same clothes. And sometimes I may stagger stuff that I premiere. So you may see me in the same thing 3 days in a row, but it was all shot the same day. So she might get a slight pass. Oh, what you saying? Hold on. Jackie said it's not the same dress. I thought the same thing, but it isn't. Okay, and we got to trust Jackie because Jackie has a useless fashion degree. And so because she has a degree in fashion, we have to accept what she's saying because like this is again one of the few times that she get to actually use her fashion degree. So we're gonna accept that her what Jackie Jack is saying, because we gotta validate her useless degree. We gotta make her degree useless today. So if Jackie Jack is saying that's not the same dress because she can look at the threads and the seams and she know the different threading in dresses and stuff because she got a fashion degree. So yeah, we gotta trust what she's saying. It's not the same dress because Jackie's fashion degree is the ultimate trump card in this conversation. Congratulations, $80,000 in debt, but you got to use your degree today. Absolutely. All right, moving on.
But like that's you.
Yeah.
So having passion is a great thing. So let's start with you. If you can kind of give a summary of what you think happened last time, what do you think happened? And then what would you want the haters to know about what happened?
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest thing that I was not going into it thinking of a debate. Pearl reached out to me about doing a collaboration, and
not going into, you see, like this is the part where he's just flat out lying. He's saying, I'm not going into it thinking it was a debate. If somebody call you in for an interview and you pull up and you basically say that she's a grifter who's pandering to men, you came in locked and loaded, all guns blazing. He said that early in the video. If you came in, listen, if you come in basically saying that somebody is a grifter who's pandering to men and that red pill is basically leading men astray and not helping men and hurting men and harming men, you basically, he basically said the whole ideology that her platform is built on is a bunch of bullshit or mostly bullshit. So he came in kicking legs off from under he came on her show basically kicking legs off from under the table that her platform was built on, but said, "Oh, I didn't come in thinking it was going to be a debate." What the fuck you thought she was going to agree with you? Like what the hell? Like that's what I mean when I say, like he's full of shit. That's what I mean when I say the man is just full of shit. Wes M in the building says, BR don't know if you changed anything, but the volume is perfect on both ends. Love your show. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, some people were saying some volume issues yesterday. I really didn't change nothing. I don't know what the difference. I don't know what's going on. I didn't touch it, but I'm glad the volume is good. And when I re-listened to my show on my phone and the volume was good on my phone, I just think some people, maybe their device got it kind of wrong. But anyway, but yeah, let's get into this. Let's get into this. Like, I like honest critics. I do. I like honest critics. I really do. But the brother, he's not an honest critic. But he does put effort into trying to formulate his counter arguments, and I do appreciate that.
And so there was no winner. Like I wasn't trying to win or anything like that. I think there was a lot of miscommunication. I think there was a lot of misunderstanding. I think a lot of us talking over one another. And
do you see what I mean? Like, okay, hopefully most of y'all saw that last debate that they had. He said there was a lot of miscommunication, a lot of talking over one another. He was the only one talking over the other one. He was the one trying to say, you remember when he kept saying, okay, now I thought we were going to have one type of conversation, but if you're going to have the conversation this way, then if we're going to play your game. So let's play your little game that you're playing right now. And he came in like that. He came in like that. He came in throwing all the stones, and now he's trying to hide his hands. And he was trying to throw stones and hide his hands in the discussion. See, that's where it's like he's creative in trying to come up with his things that he's going to say to challenge Red Pill. And I'm going to expose, as I've already done before, I'm going to double, triple down expose what his true motives would be when he coming at the Red Pill. Because you're going to actually get him to say he agrees with many aspects of it. But then it's going to turn around to, well, who are you getting your information from, though? So we're going to get into that.
And so I'm really hoping that today we can be able to clarify those things. But I just feel like the previous conversation was just one big miscommunication on both sides.
Gotcha. So what would you say to the haters that were like, nah, that's it. Hafeez, I thought I liked you, but nah, that's it. Like any of those guys. I mean, listen, if you don't have haters, you're not doing something right.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that. But what would you say to those people who are kind of talking smack about you?
The reality of life is that all people can do is try their best to represent themselves. You know, people, when the late Kevin Samuels passed away, I said people aren't who they are on their best days, neither are they who they are on their worst days.
Totally agree.
They are who they are on most days, which is a human being trying their best. And so my desire is, I'm not here to change anybody's mind. Whatever you believe about me, but I'm just here to simply communicate to help the most men possible, because end of the day, what matters the most in today's conversation is men winning. So that's what it's all about.
Love that. So,
Hey,
Pearl,
wait, did I talk over you in that conversation?
In regards to
No, you said we talked over each other. Did I talk over you?
so in regards to the conversation, I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't went back and rewatched
Oh,
it,
okay.
but I did notice.
Again, this is where he's full of shit. She did the right thing by just asking him that question directly.
In that conversation?
It's all about.
love that. So,
Hey,
Pearl,
wait, did I talk over you in that conversation?
In regards to
No, you said we talked over
In regard to
each other. Did I talk over you?
so in regards to the conversation, I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't went back and rewatched it,
Okay.
but I did notice a lot of miscommunication. But I think the biggest thing is that we're here today to be able to move forward, and that's what I really want to focus on.
remember I told y'all he's like a car salesman. Aim, acknowledge, ignore, then move on. That's AIM. That's acknowledge, ignore, then move on. An acronym. That's what they teach you when you're selling cars. When somebody asks you a tough question that may fuck up the sale, you acknowledge the question, you ignore the question, then you move on. That's exactly what he did.
Conversation?
In regards to
No, you said we talked over each other. Did I talk over you?
so in regards to the conversation, I'm not going to lie to you. I haven't went back and rewatched it,
Okay.
Acknowledge,
but I did notice a lot of miscommunication. But I think the biggest thing is
ignored it,
that we're here today to be able to move forward, and that's what
move on. That's my problem with him, because I can see I can smell the sleazy car salesman in him. When I sold cars for 6 months and I sucked at it, because you got to be kind. I mean, okay, there's some honest salesmen. I'm not trying to knock anybody in the sales profession, but there's a manipulative. Put it like this: if you could naturally sell 2 cars a week, if you get the whole manipulation game right, you could sell 4 cars a week. And the tactics that they teach you to go from selling a standard of 2 to being able to sell 4 or 5, is that kind of shit that he just did right there, where you make somebody think you answered their question, but you really didn't answer their question. You just acknowledge it, ignored it, and then moved on, and then redirected it to something that you wanted to talk about, something that where you wanted to steer the conversation. Like, that's literally what he did. That's literally how he does it, and he does that shit a lot.
I really want to focus on.
so my question to you is: so give me your perspective. What happened? What did you expect to happen? Like, and then what in reality? What did happen? Give me your expectations versus reality.
Yeah, I actually expected to agree with you on most stuff. I didn't expect it to be a debate at all either. I just found it hard to like get a word in, to be honest. And a lot of times I would try to talk, and I didn't really. I felt like I couldn't talk on my own show.
Well, listen, I mean, shout out to what we're doing here. This is why you have a moderator and an arbitrator and a host to make sure that we have equal opportunity to speak.
You said, what was the 3-letter that he used? Hafeez says BRCs: blame, rage, and complain. That's what Hafeez uses to describe manosphere content creators, or red pill content creators. He says they blame, rage, and complain. You know what? BRC. I actually thought about you when I put in that asterisk, just so you know. I actually thought that when I put in that asterisk of well, now there are some good, honest salesmen who do a good job, blah 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 blah. I thought about you because I know me and you had this discussion about sales, and then you countered me because you sell for a living. So so that's why I said no, I'm not going to do that completely, but I know there's a lot of A lot of sleazy sales tactics out there. shout out to Ike. No, it's not like the Clue Channel. It's the same goddamn thing. It's the same goddamn thing. He hits the manosphere with the same exact blue pill Hafeez uses the same weapon to try to disarm the manosphere. blue pill Hafeez is using the same weapon. Y'all not about to skate past that one. Blue pill Hafeez, the male feminist, is able to use the same talking points. Y'all not about to dance around that. Y'all gonna walk through the fire on that one. Y'all gotta walk that one through the fire. If Hafeez could steal y'all shit and use it, y'all gotta walk that one through the fire too. But all right, here we go. We back.
So you're gonna have just as much time as Hafeez to speak today.
Mhm.
So you go. What did you want to say last time that you weren't able to say? If you're saying that he was speaking over to you, what do you think?
I would say last. I was more of a question.
No, that's not the point that he is simp and a thief. I'm just saying, if I came up with a concept and then some goddamn feminists stole it and started using it, then I'm gonna be like, ooh, maybe something is wrong with my concept. Anyway, all right.
Would you say so? You said you don't disagree, or you disagree with the red pill's description of marriage.
Mhm.
I was just curious why.
Okay.
Mhm.
So why do I personally disagree with the red pill and then disagree with marriage? For anybody watching this, one of the
Wait, because can I ask one more thing? I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. Yeah,
I'm
you're good.
sorry.
Yeah, you're
I'm
good,
sorry.
you're
I
good.
know I cut you
Go
off.
ahead. Yeah.
But like, do you think that what they're saying about the laws is untrue?
No.
Okay.
No, 100%. For anybody watching this today, I'm gonna be trying to quote as many.
Okay, hold on. She asked what they say about the laws. Do you think this is untrue? He said no. We gotta notate certain things here. This is where we decoding the bullshit. No. What they're saying about the laws is untrue.
My desire is to present the information. The people can do with it whatever they want. So if you guys go to the roommates YouTube channel, go to the
same exact thing that Manosphere and Red Pill do. They present the information. People can do with it whatever they want. Even if somebody want to get married under whatever terms and conditions that they see fit. If they see a plausible situation where they can get married, they get a prenup. I mean, people got disagreements about those and how they could get thrown out. But either way it go, we presented the information. You're a grown-ass man. We can't control what you're doing. We're just arming you with all the facts.
Community tab, there's going to be statistics that I'm going to quote. I want people to criticize it, scrutinize it, pick it apart, because at the end of the day, it's about the information that helps men. So Natalia, if you don't mind, can you go to the document that I shared you, data for men, about marriage benefits for men? So the first thing that I've heard communicated is that marriage has zero benefits for men. And if it's true that marriage has zero benefits for men, that's true, and we need to talk about that. But according to statistics in a Harvard study, there are many benefits in marriage for men. For example, married men have lower mortality rates. Married men have lower.
That stat is they have lower mortality rates than I think divorced men. I don't think they have lower mortality rates than never married men.
With depression rates, lower also.
That lower depression rate. Okay.
Number rates.
Let me hear it all because I'm pushing pause in between.
In marriage for men, for example, married men have lower mortality rates. Married men have lower depression rates, lower Alzheimer's rates, lower decreased cancer deaths. If you scroll down a little bit, Natalia, if you don't mind. Have lower mortality rates. Married men have lower depression rates, lower Alzheimer's rates, lower decreased cancer deaths. If you scroll down a little bit, Natalia, if you don't mind, optimal home life to be able to raise their children, and married men earn more money. There's additional statistics as well. So there are benefits for.
All right, let's back all of those up and unpack them. Because little to none of those things sound like things that you get when you get married a lot of those things sound like things that you're likely to get married because you are those things. As far as the health and the money, like, you know, broke, out of shape, unhealthy, fat men, yeah, most women don't want to marry them. An in shape, healthy man with money, uh, more women do want to get married to that man. It's like that's where it turns into nonsense. I'm not against marriage in that sense. I'm not against marriage. I know my show. I got my questions about state sanctioned marriage and the issues with it, or this or that. I've talked to lead attorney a lot on a lot of that stuff and everything too. I got my issues there. I got my issues there, but I'm not against marriage and family and all of that. But I am against bullshit arguments. And if you're going to say that there's this hard hitting advantage for men to get married, but the things that he's saying are things that you get, that you're more likely to get married because you are those things than you are to benefit those things. It's like, you know, like making it to the NBA doesn't make you tall and athletic. You make it to the NBA because you were tall and athletic. A lot of it sound like that. A lot of it sound like that.
For men. So the first thing that I've heard communicated is that marriage has zero benefits for men. And if it's true that marriage has zero benefits for men, that's true, and we need to talk about that. But according to statistics in the Harvard study, there are many benefits in marriage for men. For example, married men have lower mortality rates.
Like I explained that when that's you know, the married men live longer than I think divorced men, which we know what men go through when they get divorced. Men go through a divorce, they lose their shit. They lose their shit, they lose their kids. Their life is uprooted. They lose their pension. That's something to even average into the equation. That, I mean, look, we arm in with all the possible information. Hopefully Fantastic don't mind me explaining this, because, you know, he said it live on my show, so hopefully don't mind me repeating it. But he said his situation was that, you know, he's in a marriage, just a little rocky. He's going to be able to retire in a year. If he didn't get out of there now, if he would have waited and then retired and then put her in that position of power where she could file the divorce, then she could take half of his pension. Then he can't even effectively retire. He had to retire, get his pension cut in half, so the money that he's going to get monthly after he retire not going to be enough to live off of, which means he's going to have to retire, then go his ass back to work. Go his ass back to work at a full-time job. So that was part of the reason why he said, if this shit rocky, I'm not about to wait another year and then let you divorce me after you can take half of my pension. I'm going to go in and divorce you now. Hopefully he don't mind me saying that. He said it on the air on my show. Hopefully he don't mind me repeating it, because he did say it on the air on my show. Like we arm in with that kind of information. So think about that. Somebody went to the military, worked their whole life to be able to retire, and now they can't retire because this woman divorced him. Do you think because he now even going later in his life, in the second half of his life, as a, you know, he's getting to the point where you're past middle age, you're old, and you're having to work. You're having to work yourself to death. You're stressed out. You're mad. You're depressed because half of your shit got taken. Of course, the depression rates are higher, and the suicide rates and all that shit is higher. Like, I mean, so it's like you're talking about, it's like a mixture of cause and effect, plus the effect of when you are certain things, you are likely to get married. When you get divorced, you are likely to fall in this category or that category.
Married men have lower depression rates.
Yes, men who stay married have a lower depression rate than men who got divorced and fucked over.
Or Alzheimer's rates.
Alzheimer's, that's majority genetic. That's majority genetic. Alzheimer's is not environment. So that if that's in the data somehow, that married men have a lower Alzheimer's rate, that's coincidental. Yeah. That's coincidental, because as far as I know, Alzheimer's is just genetic. You don't catch Alzheimer's like COVID. You don't catch Alzheimer's. Somebody with Alzheimer's don't cough on you and then you catch it. The environment don't induce Alzheimer's. So that part is some bullshit. That part is some bullshit.
Lower decreased cancer deaths. If you scroll
Decreased cancer deaths. Now, that's one benefit. That's one benefit to marriage. I will grant that, even though marriage don't increase or decrease cancer. But when you do got a life partner who keeps an eye on you and make sure you go in your ass to the hospital, that helps. Make sure you go into your doctor checkups. That help. That help. So yeah. So having a life partner does benefit you. Now, if you can have that life partner without signing the legally binding documents and contracts, it will be the same result if this life partner cares about you, regardless of those legally binding documents. But having a life partner helps. So I do give a point on that one. Having men, a lot of men to be like, hey, I ain't going to get checked up. Yeah, having a life partner that kind of nudges you to do that or checks on you to make sure that you checking on yourself, that helps. Yeah, it does. It does.
down a little bit, Natalia, if you don't mind. Optimal home life to be able to raise their children, and married men.
Okay, married men have optimal home life to be able to raise their children. Okay, now that is that's true, but it's sort of like a bullet of a gun situation. The men, because the study compared that he's looking at compares married men to divorced men. It compares married men to divorced men. So the men who get divorced don't have optimal life to raise their children. But when we start talking about how the divorce laws are fucked up, and that's why many men are in the divorce laws and child custody laws and all that is fucked up, and that's why many men are given what I call, it's like some civil disobedience when it comes to marriage. Then you can't then turn around and say, well, these are the benefits of marriage, when we can show you in the data that even when getting married, that benefit gets corrupted, or the woman has the majority of the power in that situation to wield it as she pleases. But then you fight against the men who are fighting against the system while saying you don't disagree with the laws, while simultaneously saying that what is benefit to being married, but you agree that men get screwed over in it, but do it anyway and don't have any fight against it, but arm yourself with all the truth. But it's like he be all over the place. It's like he just be saying random collections of words.
Men earn more money. There's additional statistics as well. So there are
yeah, women like to marry men with more money. Women like to marry men with more money. So just like to say married men earn more money. Yeah, men that make more money, women tend to like to marry them. Seeing as women and men are getting married much later in life, that means that women are marrying men older and later in their life when they're making more money. That just is, it just is what it is. Is what it is. You're getting the cause and effect wrong. Now, there is a factor in the equation that when a man gets married, he is highly and more motivated to work harder and make more money because he has to in order to maintain everything that he has now. But you can't deny the simple fact that, yeah, when women see a man who's making more money, they're more likely to want to marry him.
Benefits for a man
So-
today when it comes to marriage. In regards to some of the challenges, you're 100% right. There are challenges and there are issues, and we need to address them and solve them. But there are benefits for men today, and I want men to know the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to marriage.
And just to be clear here, because we're going to go through a whole range of topics.
Oh, by the way, if you're talking about me, Alzheimer's, I've been calling it Alzheimer's my whole life, and I cannot break the habit. Alzheimer's. I've been calling it Alzheimer's my whole life. Did he say Alzheimer's or did I? I'm pretty sure I said it because I think I call it Alzheimer's. I think I put a T in that. It says Hafeez's strategy is throw a bunch of stuff at you all at once. Yeah, I call it, if you throw enough spaghetti against the wall, some of it is going to stick. That's what he's doing. I thought it was old timers for a while. Y'all are getting it wrong when y'all saying that he is trying to take Derek Jackson's spot. Derek Jackson panders to women. Hafeez is trying to target men. That's why he's targeting the red pill. That's why he's targeting the manosphere, because they have an audience of men. He wants their audience. This is hashtag content strategy. He He is going after the manosphere audience by trying to just kick dirt on the manosphere, trying to splash as much mud as he possibly can on the manosphere. That's what he's doing. That's his game. That's his strategy.
Topic. So
Okay.
you're going to be doing more
That's not Derek Jackson's strategy. Derek Jackson's strategy is pander to the women.
answering than questions, but that's fine. You asked the
Mhm.
question.
Yeah.
I think it's important to establish you're married, correct?
Yes, sir.
You've been married for how long?
Over a year.
Okay, so you're married. So okay, and you're single.
Mhm.
We talked about this yesterday. A lot of DMs coming in the inbox these days.
No, chill out, chill out, chill out.
But we are talking about marriage right here. So I guess let me give you guys some stats, and then we'll kind of open up for dialogue. So
Cole still says Hafeez is pandering to simps. I don't know if that's the correct way to look at it, that he's pandering to simps. That's an interesting way to look at it. I ain't gonna lie, that's an interesting way to look at it, but I think it's deeper than that. I think what he's doing, he's trying to find disgruntled audience members of the red pill. He's trying to find them, and so he can give them a different way. He could show them a different way. I'm going to try to shit on the red pill content creators and the red pill concepts. I'm going to show you a different way by splashing in a lot of red pill stuff that a lot of the content creators agree with, but then also smuggle in some of my own isms and schisms. But everything that they're saying is wrong, other than the parts of it that he agrees with, but then he pretends to not agree with it, then he does agree with it. But either way it goes, they're getting it wrong and they're not helping man. I'm about helping man. Do you want to be helped? I'm going to show you how to become a man of the standard. What is a man of the standard? Then that's where he starts talking about how getting your money and this or that. And he says he starts selling suits and the whole little works, and the whole, that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. He's trying to win customers. That's what he's doing. He's trying to win customers. He's McDonald's trying to convince everybody that Burger King's burgers are nasty. Come eat my burgers. It's the same damn burger. I just put a bun in the middle.
marriage in Western society is definitely on the decline. There's a quote from the New York Times saying that the married will soon be the minority, right? And usually people will get married all over time. It's also no secret, we talked about this yesterday, that men tend to be the big losers in the court system, especially when a divorce happens in marriage, okay? So it's not an all bad thing. It's not an all good thing. Like, there's benefits to marriage. There's pros, there's cons. So is your question saying, are you basically saying the red pill props up marriage, or basically disses marriage, saying that there's no benefit to it and a man should not get married? Is that essentially what you're saying about the red pill? And you're essentially saying, no, there are benefits. Like, give me your full scope of your argument.
Yeah, so the full scope of the argument is that I agree. Pearl talked about some of the laws today, and I hope you get into the statistics. Men need to know about the bad, the ugly, and the terrible laws going on today. We need to address those. So the bad and ugly we need to talk about. But there are good things about marriage, and there's a lot of statistics that we'll go through today about the benefits. So my biggest thing is that if the red pill is telling the truth is the good that's happening, the bad that's happening, and the ugly that's happening. So
this is a part where he says, I agree with it, but this is where I'm going to shit on it. I agree with everything that it's saying, but it's not giving the nuance. As if we don't have deep, nuanced conversations and debate over here. Again, he is just trying to convince the audience that the red pill content creators are getting it all wrong, so they can come listen to him instead. Hashtag content strategy. That's what this is.
My biggest issue is that when we're not communicating, we're only communicating the bad and the ugly and removing the good. You're not communicating the full truth for men.
Is that what you think? Is that I guess the perspective from the red pill is that marriage is not a good thing? Like, the reason that you're asking, you had one thing to ask him and you started with marriage.
No. This isn't. I ain't about to get into what purple pill is. What he's doing is dishonest. All right. I don't even know how. What he's doing is dishonest. If purple pill, if you by purple pill you mean a dishonest content creator with an agenda, then okay, that's purple pill. See, but everybody who say purple pill don't necessarily mean that. Some people would say, some people would say that if you're red pill, but you still in a committed relationship with the woman, then you're purple pill. So I'm not even I'm not even messing with purple pill. I'm not even touching that. I'm not even touching that. I'm not even touching that because it just get too pilly, and I'm not even going. An ancient man in the building says, "I have a long time female friend who is married, and he pays all the." I have a long time female friend who is married, and he pays all the bills, and she still doesn't service him. Now she mad. He looking elsewhere. You can't make this up. Yeah, be a lot of that going on. Be a lot of that going on.
I assume that's
That's what we talked
major,
about a lot
okay,
last
well, I assume
time,
that's
yeah.
a major thing you want to address. So from your perspective, what is Hafeez not recognizing?
Have you heard Rolo say that men and women are better together than they are apart?
This is Pearl essentially basically calling him out on pretending like there's no nuanced conversations going on in red pill manosphere spaces. That's essentially her calling him out on that.
Because
He said, "Have I heard Rollo say what?"
he says that
he always know what to say and got a million words per minute, but when he knew she had him on that one, so he gonna repeat it. You know, somebody asks you a question and you just repeat the question to him, like, no, come on, man, you heard what she said. You heard what she said.
Because
He said, "Have I heard Rollo say what?"
he says that men and women are better together than they are apart.
Okay.
I think a lot of guys believe in the institution of marriage, just not the legal side of it.
Yeah.
So that's
Okay.
like, I just don't think that's true. I think they say there's no benefits like legally, not like as an institution.
So unpack that a little bit.
So I'm saying like men and women are better together. Marriage is a good thing, but the way it's set up today just doesn't benefit men. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. 90% of men don't get custody of their kids in a divorce.
Right. We talked about that yesterday. These are just stats, not my opinion. Women initiate 70% of divorces. That goes up to 90% if they're college educated. Women get the
Who you talking about, Shaka Nulu? Because I make it very clear I have my issues with men who go to women to get their information. I'm just not a hater, but not about to do content telling men not to do it. But I do have my issues with guys who got to hear it from a woman in order to accept it. It's something going on there. Not with every guy that listens to female channels. I personally don't, but yeah. I got my issues there, and I have no idea what's going on there. I did hear that he don't like Pearl. I did hear that, but she quotes him a lot. But I hear that he don't like her. I hear that Fresh and Fit don't like her. And honestly, just keeping it real, I think they don't like her for the same reason Kevin Samuels didn't like Fresh and Fit. I'll just say that and throw that out there and keep it moving. All right. Blaze Skywalker says he trying to point out the extremities in the red pill. No, he's not, because he's calling it red pill. He's being disingenuous, and he's trying to basically say that's all it is. They're not giving nuance. They're not giving it full truth. I'm giving the full truth. Come over here and listen to me. Come to death row. I know content strategy when I see it. I know when somebody is trying to siphon an audience from somebody when I see it. I know the corner to market strategies when I see it. But he said, okay, he's trying to point out the extremities in red pill by trying to be disagreeable, but failing to do so because he talks in circles. I agree with the last part of what you said, but I don't think he's trying to point out the extremities. He's doing a deliberate. It is a deliberate attack other content creators to try to steal their audience. That's what that is. Shout out to Genuine Trucker Tony in here with the super sticker. Do appreciate you. Appreciate everybody supporting the stream. I am going to try to read each and every super chat. And every super chat, we'll try to read each and every one of them. We'll try to read each and every one of them. I don't got RM in the back today clicking on stuff for me. And so when you send a super chat, it will be times in the show where it might be a little dead air when I'm scrolling up trying to find them. But even if I got to go dig through the analytics, I will make sure every super chat gets read. Every super chat and Cash App if y'all sending them. I don't even know if I'm getting Cash Apps right now. I got to check that out too. But all right, let's get into this. It's about to creep on to the good part. Captain Cisco in the building. He says, I thought Obsidian said education people stay married. 90% of college women divorce. You know what? This place is the only place where I've heard that stat that 90% that women file 80% of the divorces. And when you're college educated, it goes up to, when a woman is college educated, it goes up to 90%. This is the only place that I've heard that where Obsidian did quote those stats about married people getting married. I mean, college educated people getting married more and divorcing less. I did see the stats on that. I haven't seen where they got this from. So that's interesting. That's why you haven't seen me quote that stat about 90% of college women divorce. And I don't even think that's what they're saying. 90% of college women divorce. They're saying that women file 90%, 80% of the divorces, but it's an oddly worded stat. If women file 80% of the divorces, but when women are college educated, they file it at a 90%. They file 90% of the divorces. So okay, so college educated women. This is where stats get funny. So hear me out here. Hear me out. College educated women could get divorced less, but when they do get divorced, they file it 90% of the time. You see how both of those stats can be true if it's worded correctly. So that's something to think about. You got to think about the stats. Hopefully I explained that right.
The kids 90% of the time. They was it 90% of the time they're getting the ones getting alimony. I don't have those exact stats we talked about yesterday, but with anything, there's risk and reward. With anything, I don't care if it's driving a car, I don't care if it's getting married, I don't care if it's going swimming, if it's working out, if it's going out partying and drinking, there's risk and reward. So you're basically saying, hey, cool, I got married, bro.
Yeah.
Like there's the major reward to it. I recognize the risk, but obviously the reward outweighs the risk.
And my question,
okay, here's the thing with the risk and reward thing. You know, there's risk in driving a car. And there's reward in driving the car. The reward in being able to drive a car versus walking or getting on a skateboard or scooter or horse and buggy. The reward in driving a car, it's so great that the low probability of that car accident, it's definitely worth it. It's definitely worth it. The signing the legally binding documents at the courthouse risk and reward thing is not the same. It's not the same.
question to you, Pearl, is do you personally, Pearl, believe that there's any benefits for men to get married today?
Legally?
No, in general.
No. That's what I'm saying. Again, men and women are better together. I mean, my parents are married. I'm really thankful for having two parents in the home. I just think from a legal perspective, like if I was a guy, I probably wouldn't get married legally.
So you're saying that there is benefits that men have to being married today?
From not from a legal perspective.
So not from a legal, there is benefits. Can you name a few of them if you don't mind?
Okay. I liked having two parents in the home. I think that's good. I think commitment is good. And
how does that benefit men? So I want to be specific with you. So you said men not legally, of course, but there are benefits for men today when it comes to marriage. Can you share some of those benefits?
Yeah, if they pick the right girl, I think having a support system is good. But that's also dependent on if they pick the right girl.
Of course, 100%.
I think that having someone, I don't know, I just think it's better to like have someone by your side.
Of course.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And one of the things, and I really appreciate you sharing that, Pearl, is I want to clarify something that maybe I may not have communicated properly. There's certain things I stand for. I want to see men have money in their pockets, a family by their side, and respect on their name. I've been talking about that theme, and I believe those are good things for men.
Okay, when he says that you can't name a manosphere content creator, even if we go all the way up the line to Andrew Tate, who's the rock star right now, Andrew Tate would make the same exact statement.
Things I stand for. I want to see men have money in their pockets, a family by their side, and respect on their name. I've been talking about that theme, and
Andrew Tate would say roughly the same thing. Only difference is Andrew Tate wouldn't support that with a Western state-sanctioned marriage, and he would have some women on the side, if not multiples in the house. I think he believes in multiple wives. So most men would say roughly the same thing. Even if we go to, I don't listen to Rollo Tomasi that much, even though he's real good when I do listen to him. I'm sure Rollo Tomasi would say that. I'm sure even in the Black manosphere, I'm sure Angry Man would say that. Like, who wouldn't say that? Like, this is the subtle fuckery in what he does, where he says things that people generally agree is a good thing, but he tries to say it as if people don't think it's a good thing. That's the subtle splash of bullshit that he throws out there.
And I believe those are good things for men. Anything that I see trying to take that away from men, any bad idea, that's what I'm against. So I'm not.
Okay, is it the bad ideas that are taking that away from men, or is it the change in society and culture that took that away from men, and men are acknowledging that that's been taken away and that it's a rigged game to play, and they're enacting some form of civil disobedience until there's some change in the system, the culture, the laws, and blah 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 blah. So it's like, if you're not critical of the system and the laws and everything, if not criticism of the system, the laws, and the culture, you're just critical of the man who noticed it, then how are you then about helping men or fighting against anything that's trying to prevent or take that away from men, when we've already pinned the tail on the right donkey that has basically made it harder for men to have that that traditional stuff? We've pinned the tail on the right donkey already, but you're coming at the men while simultaneously saying you agree with our assessment of the system. That's where the throw a bunch of spaghetti against the wall to see what's going to stick philosophy of arguing, the confuse and conquer, the scatter shot, I'm going to hit something right type of debate tactic that he does comes in.
Not against any individual person. I'm against any idea that I personally believe hurts the lives of men. So I want to clarify as we continue to move forward. I'm never against any individual person. I want to see every single man have the best life possible. One of the things I love.
Remember that right there, where he said, I'm not against any individual person. But when he starts talking about this whole red pill manosphere things, and as he says he agrees with a lot of it, he's going to say, yeah, but who are you getting your information from? Which one of these content he's going to make it clear that he thinks that the content creators who are giving this information isn't giving it right. He's going to make that clear, but while simultaneously saying, I'm not against any individual person. But then he attacks the individuals, and he stops short of saying names because he wants to keep it vague in general. But at the end of the day, he wants to shit on the whole infrastructure of the manosphere and red pill concepts. Why? Because he's doing the content strategy of just trying to siphon the audience. It's disgruntled people. Who he wants to try to convert over to his side. That's what he's doing.
About Pearl before the show started, she was talking about her dad. Her dad's like a freaking rock star. The compliments, the encouragement, like just her as a woman, like by having.
The answer to that question, who asked that question? Perfect Storm. The answer to that question is yes.
Having an amazing father really benefited.
Recently married. The whole timeline of what he did, and I hate to even get too much into people's personal life, but he was single. Red Pill started to blow up. Kevin Samuels started to blow up. Manosphere started to blow up, and then he dipped his toe in it. He started doing more stuff with Alpha Male Strategy, Steph is Code, Kevin Samuels. He was on Clubhouse with Kevin Samuels. He started going in on women a little bit. He started advocating for men a little more in kind of a red pill Manospherian type of way. He got all that he could get out of that. Kevin Samuels died around the time he got married and this or that. No, he got married. Kevin Samuels died, and so it's like the degree in which he had dipped his toe into Manosphere and red pill stuff, and siphoned some aspects of the audience out of that. But now he's kind of going in a different direction. He's trying to sell this. He's essentially trying to sell the whole concept that. I don't want to bring Anton Daniels into this. Well, yeah, y'all see the similarities. He's trying to sell the successful, get your money, get married, live that married man lifestyle with money and success and the family supporting you behind. It's like he's selling that as a lifestyle brand. He's selling that as a lifestyle brand, but he sees the red pill as a fertile ground of men, and some of them may not be thriving and achieving whatever they want. It doesn't matter what percentage of them are thriving and achieving everything that they want. It just matters that there's men there, and they're on YouTube, and I'm on YouTube, and I'm kind of in their algorithm. I need to get them as customers. I need to get them to buy my suit brand. I need to get them interested in what does it mean to become a man of the standard. That's like Kevin Samuels' high value man thing. He's saying be a man of the standard. So it's like this is business what he's doing. This is business what he's doing. So yeah, he got married, and now he's trying to sell the married man lifestyle image and all of that. Like that's essentially what he's doing. He said Anton is more, but that's why I pulled Anton out of it, because I don't want to associate Anton don't be on the fuckery that Hafeez be on. Yes, TLA is pro marriage. Man, listen. Yes, Kevin Samuels was pro marriage. Listen. He said family pimps. Listen, if you go to his channel and look at it, and there's videos called something like The Life of the One Percenter. It's a bunch of dudes, in nice tight suits with the, they wear suits now, where they be flooding and you can see their ankles. The dude on the set with them, the host of the show is like that too. No socks, flooding, ankles all the way. You can see ankles all the way up to the calf muscle. That's the new style. That's what they doing. Skinny leg, that's what they doing. You can see a lot of dudes dressed like that with a bunch of baddies around them. It's like, so it's almost like he's trying to sell the success guru. It's almost like money, cars, clothes, lifestyle, but married. It's like he's trying to do that. It's like a weird thing that he's trying to do. So it's like he's in the same he's in the same game that he kind of criticizes. He's in the same game. He's just putting a sort of a more married, more blue pill spin on it at the end. But he's saying, I agree with everything.
Their life. I want to see more women have fathers like Pearl. Mm-hmm. I want to see more men become fathers like her father was. And so any idea that helps men, I love it. And any idea I think that hurts men, I'm against it.
10 kids in the
that's
the Pearl.
crazy.
But how could you say you agree with the system and how it's unfair, and then you talk about men and they going through depression and suicide rates and all that shit go up for men who get divorced and get fucked over and lose their kids and lose a lot of their stuff. And so you can't say that you're against things that hurt men when this whole space is talking about the things that hurt men, but you're against them. Oh, but I'm not against them. I agree with what they're saying. I just think that verbal diarrhea against the wall. Like,
and which one are you, by the way?
Oh gosh, it depends how you count it. I grew up with 6. I was the second to 6, and then they adopted 3 teenagers later. And then I actually had a brother at 22. They gave up for adoption when my mom was 17. So I didn't find out about him until I was older. But out of the original 6 I grew up with, I was second.
Okay.
You were second oldest, second youngest?
Second oldest.
Oh, wow.
Well, third if you count the brother that didn't. Course, that's why I say, how do you count
crazy.
it? How do you count it?
Beyond ridiculous. 10 kids. Respect to So I don't even know your last name.
Davis.
And someone asked me, he goes, Adam, what's Pearl's last name? I go, I think it's Things. What is your last name?
Why people want to know her last name? You goddamn stalkers and doxers.
Davis.
Yeah.
Pearl Davis.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
name you know.
Mhm.
We just established two things. That
Mhm.
two things can be true at once. That there's a lot of benefits to being married, to raising your kids in a single family household and being together. But hey,
Mhm.
you should also recognize that there's a lot of risks involved in
Mhm,
marriage,
mhm.
especially being a dude.
Mhm.
Is this fair to say?
100%.
Is there anything like, would you want to push back on that? Either one of you?
Mhm.
Look at us.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Adam, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So I love that statement. I love how Pearl agreed to it. You're a guy who's very intuitive, a guy who's asking a lot of amazing questions. You're a lifelong learner, and you've talked to a lot of individuals in the red pill space. In your personal opinion, I'm just curious, do you feel as though they're sharing some of the benefits as well, or do you see a lot of the red pill content creators primarily talking about the issues and rarely skipping over the benefits?
That's a good question. And I respect to the red pill community, I think is a necessary voice. I also think that you're a necessary voice. I think
Mhm.
just like if it's a Republican or Democrat, like too much of one thing is not a good thing. I'm a moderate in that regard. So I have a lot of respect for the red pill space. And I don't, this isn't my opinion. This is what I hear. This is the feedback I get, because I used to only talk about money. Okay. And like, save that money, improve your money. And then I had a discussion with PBD. He's like, dude, you've been in nightlife in Miami for 20 years. Why don't you talk about dating and relationships? Like, all right, Pat, fine, we'll do it. So I have a lot of people that come up to me, especially friends that I've known for years, or like, since when are you a relationship guy, bro? And I'm like, all right, well, this is what we're doing. And the comments that come to me about the red pill space, these are not my thoughts. Don't clip this up and say that Adam is anti-red pill. The comments that people say to me are, hey, that's great. Some of this stuff is awesome for male improvement. I see what you're saying. You know, make money, make muscles, make game, MLD, shout out, like everything, like male improvement, awesome. But I really feel like what you're talking to are single men, like young single men. And the comments that I hear from like grown folks, kind of a thing, older, more, they're like, yeah, when you get married and you have kids, like some of this praxeology or ideology doesn't add up to me. This is what they're saying to me. And I say, well, unpack that a little bit. So when they say, well, when you have kids and you have 2 daughters, your perspective is just going to change a little bit versus like, fuck these hoes out here. Don't worry about like, I'm not so, and I'm like, oh, okay, interesting perspective.
There is an aspect of red pill. Okay. There's like the there's the single dating coach aspect, the single younger dating coach, you know, type of aspect of red pill, to where, yeah, that's an aspect of it. That's an aspect of it. I think for most people, or at least where I'm at with it, I analyze it, and I look at it like this. We've all been deluded to some degree. We all believed a bunch of bullshit and operated and moved in that way. Now there's some people who just came out ready. They just naturally had a knack. They didn't see the delusion. They wasn't blind to things. They saw the Matrix code right out the gate when they were younger. Then there was some of us that did have to live some life and experience some shit before they could kind of see the writing on the wall. About what was going on and how you should be moving when it comes to women, and when it comes to life and all of that. It's about tearing down or breaking down that delusion that was put in front of your face. And so for a lot of people, it's like that. It's not just a matter of just simply, you know, fuck these bitches. You know, no, that's the base level shit. And that sells good, because I mean, it's some guys I don't listen to. I be seeing them doing videos with their shirts off and shit, and trying to give guys game and all. Like, yeah, I can't even name their name. I know Steph is cold. That's my guy. But other than that, I don't know them other dudes. but they do their thing over there. But it's much bigger than that. It's much bigger than that with a lot of the stuff that we talk about on my channel and a lot of other channels. It's much bigger than that. It's much bigger than gaming hoes. You know, that's one aspect of the conversation. That's one aspect of the conversation.
Perspective.
Don't
No,
worry.
I know. But just to be clear,
Yeah.
the benefits that the red pill community establishes and the knowledge that it preaches definitely outweighs the negatives. Okay, like I just want to be clear about that.
Mhm.
But at the same time, I've never claimed to be the red pill guy, the red pill voice. I really appreciate talking to all these guys. I've talked to Rolo how many times on camera? I've done content with Fresh and Fit.
Do Platinum actually even claim that he's red pill?
Hell, we just interviewed Andrew Tate a few months ago.
Mhm.
Okay, whether it's Coach Greg Adams or Donovan Sharp, we went at the CME. Like these guys are awesome because at the end of the day, and there's different categories of red. Like that's like to use politics. There's a moderate Democrat. There's a socialist Democrat.
Yeah.
There's MAGA Republicans. There's just that. Like there's different gamuts of the red pill community. But at the end of the day, I think what the fundamental message is guys, you need to improve. If you can improve your life, you can improve your status, improve your money, improve your wealth, improve your game, then the world's your oyster. But if you want to be a fucking loser, then hey, you could also do that too. So I'm not sure if that's
All right. Hoop Jargon in the building says, yeah, Clown BR is not that hard to see. Absolutely, absolutely. And Tyron Lannister says, many red pill content creators are really purple pill. I'm putting the link in the chat for you. Come up and explain that one. Come up and explain that one. He says, AMS stated, we will all turn purple pill eventually. Come up and explain that one. Red pill content has transformed into one big cash grab. You don't. Yeah, okay. I ain't even trying to go down that route. He said, Platt is Pookie Pill. Tyron Lannister, you are being called up. You're the next contestant on The Price is Right. Come on down. I want you to come up and explain that. I don't understand what AMS say when AMS said we will all turn purple pill eventually. Okay, and so in order to say that, what you're basically saying, somebody like ARC was red pill when he was single. When he turned 57 and got married, did he become purple pill? If that's what you mean by that, I understand. I understand what you mean, but I think that's very base level to say you settle down with one woman, therefore you're purple pill. And that's what I'm getting at, and that's what I want you to explain. That's what I want you to explain. I want you to substantiate that when you say most content creators are purple pill. I want you to explain exactly what you mean by that. And he's gone. At least drop a comment. Let me know if you're coming or not. And now look at, now see, this is where it's a difference in philosophy here. See, Cole still just said, anyone who doesn't believe a man being dominant and leading the relationship ain't red pill, in my opinion. Some people would say, but if you're in a relationship altogether, you're not red pill. That's what some people would say. That's what some people would say. But all right, I'm gonna roll the tape while I await.
That's what you were looking for?
No,
Yeah.
you answered the question.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. So, all right. Do you want to respond to what
No, I was
Okay.
curious because like I'm always interested in other people's perspectives.
Yeah.
So I was just curious to like what was your perspective on it?
I guess let me ask you a question. So we're talking about the red pill here. So the red pill is
All right. He says when you settle down, you become purple pill. Okay. So for you, being red pill is just being single in chasing hoes. it's like that. I mean, maybe I'm over. That's why I wanted you to come up, because I don't want to just hit over. I don't want to oversimplify what you mean by that when you say when you settle down, you become purple pill. The only way that makes it okay to be red pill is to be aware of the true nature of reality, and is to be aware of the true nature for reality, and I would even add accepting it for what it is, accepting reality for what it is. Your blue pill if you don't see the true nature of reality, like the guy that was on the show on this same show yesterday, who didn't see the true nature of reality. He didn't see that woman he was with as an actual human being who has her own motives. He said she was a unicorn and basically believed that she would never do anything wrong to him. In your red pill, you understand that these women are human beings, that they could be selfish, that they could screw you over, that they're not made of sugar and spice and everything nice, and you got to protect yourself at all times, and you got to operate from a standpoint to make sure that you're in control, or you're in a power position as much as humanly possible. Like when we're talking about how you operate, and I think everybody who's red pill tends to describe everything essentially the same way, but their prescription their prescription of what you do and how you deal with it and how you handle it may be different, but everybody pretty much describes it the same way. But overall, when you're saying that when you settle down, you become purple pill. Like somebody like when ARC settled down, I don't know what image of reality that he saw before that he doesn't see now. That's where I disagree with the concept of your purple pill, or your when you're in a relationship, or when you settle down, or you get married. I don't necessarily go that route with it. I don't necessarily go that route with it. If you see the truth, if you see the true picture of reality, blue pill is like the guy on the show yesterday who didn't see the true picture of reality. Purple pill would by definition have to be you see the true picture of reality. You see that true picture. You know the truth, but you ignore it. That's what that would have to be. Hoop Jargon is on to something. Say niggas red pills themselves out of pussy and happiness. Said ignore it.
is commonly known as the truth. Like a lot of it came from the
study,
Matrix, right?
It's the study of human behavior.
Right. It's obviously red pill has blown up. We all know that. If you're not familiar with the red pill, you can look it up. It teaches the truth, intersexual dynamics, the study of evolutionary psychology, human behavior, all that kind of stuff like that. I will say that on one hand, on one side of things, a lot of people will say that misogyny and chauvinism, and basically they put down women. But then on the other hand of the coin, it's no, this is male improvement, self-improvement. Who's going to get mad at improvement?
You say, or try to work around it. But okay, so if you're trying to see, this is where y'all kind of run into some problems when you say that, okay, he sees the truth, but he's trying to work around it. And you say, if you say that a guy is trying to work around it, if he's in a relationship, no, if he's with a woman who's doing everything he needs her to do, and he's going to stay with her provided that she continues to do everything that he needs her to do, I don't think he's trying to work around something. It turns into a situation that it turns into a situation where you start criticizing a guy for succeeding with a woman. He said, "Do you believe there is a septum?" I don't know what a septum is. A septum to purple pill. I don't know what a septum is. Sorry. I'm Googling. A partition separating two chambers, such as that between the nostrils or the chambers of the heart. Wow. Okay. Oh, okay. So you meant spectrum. That septum, that word septum almost fit into what you're asking me. That word septum almost fit into what you're asking me. But we'll go with spectrum. Do I think there's a spectrum? Okay, maybe it's my initial understanding of purple pill that makes me sort of cringe when y'all just start saying most red pill content creators are purple pill, because the people who I viewed as purple pill initially was the Derek Jackson types. Derek Jackson, if he knows that much about how to lie to women, manipulate women, and get them to buy his books and all of that shit, and know how to sell them delusions and can argue their delusional bullshit that well, to the degree to where he's basically saying the exact words and thoughts and perspective that he knows he knows these chicks inside and out. And if you know these chicks inside and out, you know the truth about these chicks. Like so when I look at somebody like Derek Jackson, I'm like, Derek Jackson knows everything that we know. He's lying. That's what I that's what I see when I see a content creator who's purple pill. That's what I mean when I see a content creator who's purple pill. I see Derek Jackson. I see a liar. I see a grifter. But then I hear some people say that you know, that Kevin Samuels content was purple pill, Lapeef Network is purple pill, Fresh and Fit content is purple pill. And then I'm like, okay, what the fuck are y'all talking about? So that's why, you know, there's a lot of daylight between Derek Jackson and the and Mr. Logic on the Lapeef Network. It's a lot of daylight between those two. So that's why I have an issue when people start just throwing out purple pill for content creators in and around this space. I see the ace metaphors in Derek Jackson's as the purple pills. And that's probably the reason why I try to push back against us just throwing that around for people who do the type of content that we do. That's why I push back against that. But people have a different foundation of what they consider purple. Like by a lot of y'all definitions, angry man, you know, being in a successful relationship in marriage, I would have to say that he's purple pill. Like, so I mean, if he's purple pilled and who's not purple pill, it's like, so that's where I'm at with it. It turned into a situation where everybody except a hardcore card carrying MGTOW is purple pill. Okay, then what the fuck is red pill then? You know, so we just end up into a point where we've definitioned ourselves out of a conversation. It's like so anyway. Yeah, it gets weird. It's getting weird. But all right, let's get back into it. Let's get back into a good conversation. I like segues here and there.
So I'm just framing this question from your perspective. What are the biggest flaws you see in the red pill space?
Yeah. So to me, I think the hardest thing and the part that I think when I talk about this, I make the biggest mistakes is the red pill means different things to so many people. And I've talked to like 8 different red pill creators. All 8 of them gave me a different answer. And so I don't want to get too lost in the sauce here, but one of the things that we noticed was that there's a very much difference between.
Exactly. Rollo Tomasi, who I think wrote one of the first books on the concept, it would be definitely considered purple pill. He was married when he fucking wrote it. Donovan Sharp is either married or de facto married or non-state sanctioned married. Yeah, so
traditional red pill and what we consider neo red pill.
Okay.
We found a little bit of a difference between those two things.
I don't know what the fuck neo red pill is, but anyway, keep it moving.
But to me, the primary issue I have is a representation of marriage, because to me, like I said, I believe that family is the foundation of a society. If we don't have strong families, people are dependent upon the state. There'll be a lot of different issues. So I want to build as many.
Okay, again, that's where I say he will come and repeat a lot of things that a lot of people in the black manosphere has been saying at nauseum, nonstop, or like so. Again, he will say shit that everybody agrees with, as if he's the only one who agrees with it.
Strong families as possible, and I truly believe deterring men from building families, that's something that hurts me, especially seeing how in the black community the breakdown of the family has decimated the community, and I want to find solutions instead of just focus on the problem.
Makes complete sense. So you're saying the biggest flaw within the red pill is their viewpoint on marriage. What do you think is the biggest benefit for learning the red pill content?
100%. So I would argue the best benefit is more traditional red pill versus neo red pill, but the best benefit.
I laugh every time I hear traditional red pill versus neo red pill. I don't. When he said it's deterring men from building families, I don't necessarily know that it's. I don't necessarily think that it's doing that. It's pointing out. It's arming men with the information that they need to know going forward in this modern time. So unless your argument is essentially shit is fucked up, and I agree with y'all that shit is fucked up and things are different, but men should roll up their sleeves and do it anyway, despite of the system, despite of the culture, despite of the laws, despite of the fact that the women don't even fucking want it a lot of the times until they're, over 30, overweight with a couple kids by a couple men. It's like, so our information isn't deterring men from it. Our information is putting the spotlight on why the game has changed. That's really what's going on.
Is removing the delusion of that Disney Channel fantasy.
Right.
I think what happens is a lot of young men grow up with this Disney Channel fantasy. You find the one, you're gonna live happily ever after. There's gonna be no issue. All women are angels. This delusion,
Sugar and
right?
spice and everything.
Yes,
Exactly.
that's the delusion that I was talking about. The red pill ultimately breaks guys away from that. You're going to find everything. There's this Disney fantasy delusion. The women are made of sugar and spice and everything nice. Just be a nice guy and just show up and treat them right. And then everything will just work out because women are wonderful and they're going to acquiesce to you treating them how they claim that they want to be treated. But in reality, we see how they really move. And then we learn from that. And we operate accordingly. We operate accordingly once we see what's going on.
Yeah. So to me, men growing out of that delusion and that propaganda that was promoted through Disney Channel and Hollywood movies and stuff like that,
and now
it's extremely important for men to flourish and thrive in life.
So
Gotcha.
you do think it's important though that men understand the drawbacks of marriage too, though?
100%, Pearl. 100%.
Okay, and you do think it's important that men should understand like female nature too?
100%. And
okay. So you would agree that this is really important?
Well, I would disagree. I will agree and disagree, Pearl.
Okay. Agree and disagree.
So my question to you is, who is the individual you're going to learn about male and female nature?
Mm-hmm.
What did I tell ya? I don't have anything against any individual, but who are the people that you're going to learn about this? This is him trying to discredit red pill and manosphere content creators. That is him just simply trying to do that. Basically trying to say, who are you going to learn this information? You should be coming to me to learn this information. That is essentially what he's saying. When he's take away all the fluff and the feathers of all the word salad that's being thrown out there, he's basically saying, I agree with the concepts. I agree with them. But who are you going to? Who are you getting consultations with? You should be giving me that money. You should be learning how to become a man of the standard. You should book a consultation with me. I will show you how to be successful and get money and wear and buy suits from my suit line. That's just that's what this is when he starts criticizing, attacking, and going after red pill. That's what this is all about. He's trying to siphon members. He's trying to siphon the audience.
Me personally?
Who do you go to?
Oh, mom and dad.
Okay.
Shout out mom, shout out dad.
So that's where you learned
like initially, like when I was young. You mean now?
Like in regards to like the red pill, right? So
you're talking about red pill.
Yes,
I thought you meant like Okay.
Yeah,
Go
because
ahead.
obviously, like you've come to a transformation from my understanding. So when you're talking about men learning about male and female nature, I'm curious to you, where do you go to learn about male and female nature in regards to this space?
Gosh, you learn a lot just from doing the freaking shows.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know how many girls cap on the show? Oh my God. Like, I feel like I really started to understand the red pill just from like interviewing people.
Yeah.
Because 4 days a week, 7 people in the
Yeah, of
studio.
course.
Like, oh my, it changes your life. Oh my God.
Yeah.
What's the biggest lesson you've taken away from interviewing all these people, especially women?
Women, like, we just say things, and like half the time, like, we don't even know what we want.
That's sort of her admitting that she's kind of late to the party learning all this stuff. But like I said, she understands YouTube better than most, and she built an effective platform. But yeah, she is kind of new to the party. She didn't live in an experience. She didn't go through a divorce or anything like that, or actually have to deal with women. But she studied a lot of content and got all the information and built an amazing platform. That's essentially the gist of what she's saying.
Because it's like a girl will come on and say, "Oh, I like nice guys," da 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 da, and I'm like, "I saw your ex-boyfriend. I know who you dated." Like, okay, this one girl. I'll give you a story.
Go ahead, give us a
This
story.
girl came on the show, right? She was so pretty, so nice, whatever. And the whole
she does a lot of that. She does that from time to time. I noticed that in this interview. It's like both of them be talking without answering questions. I mean, she does it better. I mean, she answers more questions than him, but sometimes she kind of sidestepped a lot of stuff.
show, she was talking about how she only dates like, the nice guys, like da 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 da. After the show, this like my recruiter brought his friend, and he'd literally been to jail.
You said he has a point. Some manosphere dudes don't have women experience. He said, what content creator do you go to? What content creator are you saying don't have experience? Like, who are you talking about? Like that's a ridiculous statement to try to just pin a stereotype. Like, there's a whole incel sector that be talking about not getting women. Like, I don't see that with necessarily the manosphere sector. I don't know who you're talking about. I don't know who you're talking about. Everybody who I talk to, a lot of guys who's married, been married, married or been divorced or single and, mess with, hook up with some chicks here and there. Like, I don't know the guy, particularly the content creator, who just no experience with women, especially not in the black manosphere. I don't know that guy.
He took her home that night. So I was like, the biggest lesson to me was just like, this is madness. We just say things.
So, okay. So listen.
And I will say, not every woman, not all women, but it's just like, I feel like that's like part of it.
The reason why I asked you that question initially is I'm asking in regards to, like, when you said learn about male and female nature, I'm saying, like, let's say outside of the content, because you obviously learned about it. Where did you go? Like, what was the
like
book?
Growing up?
Like, I mean, like, you, like, from my understanding, you came to a conclusion about like.
Perfect Storm, yes, you're trying to throw jabs. I get it. However, you are talking about a man who was married for X number of years, who has 2 children. I don't know about his love life post-marriage, but it's hard to really say that somebody who married, I, based off my math, seeing as he had all the kids before he got married, and I think the divorce, the separation, all that was finalized when his oldest was like 5. So I'm just going to go out on a limb and assume that he was married for 6, 7, maybe 8 years. I'm just going to assume that. So even then, your logic falls apart. Now, I wouldn't say that he's a ladies' man, but to say no experience with women, he could speak to a lot of experience. He could speak to going through that divorce. He could speak to getting married. He could speak to going through a custody battle. He could speak to winning custody. He could speak to, so it's a lot that he can offer and break down. Only thing you could say is that he ain't no pussy magnet. Well, that doesn't mean that he doesn't have experience. So that's where the bullshit slips in for me, where people just trying to figure out a way to just charge up men who are talking and speaking up for men. Let's just charge them up with something because they're speaking up for men. That just comes off very I'm not saying that that's what you're doing, but that comes off as really like trying to cape for the women. You're trying to protect the women from the criticism of men. That's what that comes off as. I don't think that's necessarily what you're doing. I think it was just more a personal jab at Lil Big Nate. But overall, when people try to say that, they're trying to invalidate this man's analysis. They're trying to invalidate his analysis. For what reason? Either they're just hating on him, or they're putting the cape on for the women that he's criticizing.
Man, society is getting crazy.
Mhm.
Where did you learn that from? Was there a book? Was there a
Oh my gosh,
video?
you've been to a college campus?
Okay, so
Society's getting crazy?
yeah.
What do you mean? Oh my gosh, when I went to college and I saw that they put these dudes in our dorms and they're saying that they were women. What do you mean?
So from my understanding, you came to your, as they call it, red pill awareness from life.
Well, it was a mix. So it was partially just from, like, I would say I was more like blue pilled before. I didn't really, I never thought about things from the men's perspective, but there was a couple pivotal moments. One was going to a pickup artist conference.
You told me about
that.
that.
That I was like, oh my gosh, these girls that are like 2s are rejecting the 5s and harshly.
Yeah.
So that kind of like puts you in a men's point of view, because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe like what that. Second thing, The Rational Male. I read that. I think Rollo's a genius. I think he's very smart.
Yeah.
His second book, Religion, I think is good too.
Yeah.
So
have you
and
ever
I
read...
also listened to literally months of like Manosphere content. Like
Yeah.
You can see me reacting to it live.
We've talked about.
Yeah, I said that before, that she's a quick study. She studied all this shit and then was able to, effectively put it out there on a nice platform. I said that.
Yeah. You brought up something earlier that I want to address. You said that there's a difference between like the old school traditional red pill stuff, which I think you would put Rollo in that category, and sort of the neocons.
Yeah.
So would you elaborate on who you think is, I don't know, you're saying like who's really doing...
You said neocons on because Hafeez said neo red pill. How's she telling on herself saying she went up to a pickup artist conference? If you're saying she's telling on herself because she was studying the hell out of this space with a strategy to become a prominent content creator in this space, and she achieved that shit. But not even in this space though, because she hit that algorithm so hard and spammed YouTube with so much content that she grew outside of the space. But what do you mean by she telling on herself? I'd say she telling on the fact that she didn't know nothing about none of this shit, and then she studied her ass off. She studied her ass off so she could, I understand that question. Why would a woman go to a PUA conference? You said she's telling on herself. What is she telling on? I'd say she's telling on the fact that she was studying any and everything she could about red pilled, so she can make content. That's what I say. She vanilla'd the red pill content, BR. It's a lot of bit of that going on too. Niggas hate to see other folks prosper. I think that's what you mean, prosper off of hard work. Yeah, that's why you'll never see me hating. But I'm gonna acknowledge that she did have to. She rolled up her sleeves and studied the shit like she was getting a degree in it, and then put out the content, plot, plan, strategize, execute. She did it. But I'm not gonna knock the hard work. I'm just not. I'm not. Will not do that. I agree, Harambe. Nigga, stay hating.
Doing the red pill right, and then who's sort of hijacking the red pill? Like, just clarify what you mean by the old school versus the new school red pill content creators.
No problem. So Chris Williamson talks a lot about it. Shout out to Chris Williamson, respond to your messages. Hamza talks about this as well. So what happened is a lot of people, the red pill, it originated in the chat rooms. So the message boards, the chat rooms. So a lot of people who were the initial red pill thought leaders, they were writers because you had to write in the chat rooms.
Which ones? I'm just curious.
So obviously Rollo was probably the most popular.
They
one.
were writers because you had to write in the chat room. Okay. 310 members of the chat room. You are all writers because you are writing in my chat room. The JR, you are a writer. JC the Conqueror, you are a writer. Who else we got in here? Mr. Low Key, you are a writer. I count about 21 characters. You're a writer, my friend. The initial red pill started out with writers because you had to write in the chat room. TD Hutch, all 3 characters. You are a writer. Omega Dreads, you're a writer. Yep. Ghost Illmatic, you're an author now. Absolutely. Even you, Jackie. Jack. You're a writer. Yep. Damn. Okay. Please shout me. All right. Yes. What is that? Mason DeFrump, you're a writer. The esteemed Judge Zilla says, I the writer. Therefore, you are a writer. You have been knighted in as a writer. Absolutely. The Nishu Red Pill content creators, the Nishu Red Pillars, they were writers because they had to write in the chat room.
In the chat rooms. So the message boards, the chat rooms. So a lot of people who were the initial red pill thought leaders, they were writers because you had to write in the chat rooms.
Which ones? I'm just curious.
So obviously Rollo was probably the most popular ones, and if I'm being completely honest, it was so long ago I didn't really know their names. I just would read some.
Oh, you were in the chat rooms?
Of course,
okay.
of course.
Okay, so you were in the chat room with Rollo?
I wasn't. No, I wasn't in the chat room.
I don't believe him, and she just called him on that lie. You could look at his early content and say he didn't give shit about no red pill shit. He was a part of the Derek Jackson cartel. That's what Obsidian be calling it. The Derek Jackson cartel when yes, I know. We're not gonna talk about the weirdness of. Okay, we're not going there. We're not going there. But you know, put it like this: when Obsidian went to that Derek Jackson event, it was Derek Jackson there, Ace Metaphor, Stefan Labossiere, and the roommates. He was with them niggas. All right. That's what he was at. They started out doing interviews. So he trying to do revisionist history, like he's been in the red pill space and he's been advocating and fighting for men. Your show, the roommates podcast was a very general type of thing. It was a very general type of thing. It was just content where y'all just talked about stuff and then y'all start interviewing people who talked about stuff. It wasn't about the uplifting and betterment of men. Like cut it out.
Rollo. So long story short, the reason why I'm so passionate about this subject matter is because I was like so many guys, man. I was struggling with relationships. I had to move back home multiple times. Like the typical, you know.
Shout out to Uncle Stu, the old man on the block. Y'all make sure y'all go check them out. He says, I'm not a writer. I'm a biter for myself. All right. He says, I'm a talker. He says, I'm a talker. He ain't a writer. But all right. Shout out to Uncle Stu, the old man on the block.
Average guy who's struggling in life, that was a lot of times my story. So I would seek out wisdom in many different areas. I started off with a lot of Christian masculinity content. That's interesting. He Jackie, you are correct. He is mispronouncing Rollo's name, Rollo Tomasi. He's mispronouncing it on purpose. Everything he does is a major. It's all shade. It's all, and the shade is about to get real strong. It's probably the last part of this I'm about to cover. The shade is about to get real ridiculous. So in the year 2009, there was a Christian renaissance that created a lot of masculinity content. So I was consuming all kinds of content for a long period of time. And during that time, I also stumbled upon the red pill message boards. And so the original content creators in red pill message boards.
Ooh, JC, what do you mean by that? You need to get back to what it was meant for. Explain that one.
They were writers, a little bit more thoughtful, and a lot of them would quote at times evolutionary biologists. They would quote a lot of these studies that came from Pew Research, Gallup, and things along those lines.
What the fuck? Like as if that ain't what's going on now. He said they would quote he said he basically said they would quote, scientific articles, research from evolutionary psychologists and biologists, as if that ain't what going on. That ain't what Rollo Tomasi has done. Obsidian made a career doing that shit. Like, come on. There's been lots of debates about that. I remember there was an intense debate about David M. Buss, the evolution of desires, and Richard Dawkins, the selfish gene, and all of that stuff. Like those debates are high and heavy in this space. Like, so it's like, again, it's an attempt to just discredit, to try to say they ain't hitting on shit.
And a lot of them would quote at times evolutionary biologists. They would quote a lot of these studies that came from Pew Research, Gallup, and things along those lines. So those were the traditionalists. A lot of the neo-red pillars, from my personal experiences, they don't quote the primary sources, which are the evolutionary biologists, the historians, the relationship therapists,
Rob
and the
Henderson.
studies. Huh?
Rob Henderson. Right?
What about Rob?
No, I was saying that's one of them, right? Is that?
Oh, Rob Henderson is one of what?
Oh, the people that you like to see quoted. I thought you said that last time. Sorry.
Yeah. No. Rob is a red pill, so that's a little bit different.
No, I meant you said the evolutionary biology.
Person like
the people that he's naming, the Pew Research people, they're not red pill. We look at their data and their research and their findings and their books and their articles and their studies, and use that as the backdrop for how we explain what it is that we're observing. But so he can't deflect away and say the guy that she named there, well, he's not red pill. Neither is David M. Buss.
Rob, I don't think Rob is evolution biologist in my opinion, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
So
I thought you said him last time.
No problem. And so, but the neo red pillars, they don't go to
there's no such thing as neo red pill
primary source. They usually quote other red pillars, so they will quote statistics and of other people versus going to the primary sources. And so to me, that's why I distinguish those two different things. And a lot of the neo red pillars, they came to content creation in a time when it was very profitable to make content. So the one thing I will definitely give Rollo is Rollo was doing this when there was no money here. So I can give him that. Like he there was no financial gain.
Holy shit. Hafeez only hopped on red pill when money got in it. When he saw Kevin Samuels blowing up, that's when he started dipping his toe in it, because he found out that, you don't have to walk on eggshells and pander to women in order to really blow up and make money. And then he started linking up. He started trying to, do more stuff with Kevin Samuels. He was on Clubhouse with Kevin Samuels. He started doing more. He started doing more stuff with more red pill content creators, and he started tailoring his content to it. He even had a show. I mean, I thought it was pretty damn good. When he had basically two women in studio and was talking to them and was breaking a lot of shit down, just like Kevin Samuels. I thought it was pretty solid. So I mean, he only started doing that. He only started doing that when he saw that it was profitable. He switched up from the Derek Jackson, from being on that Derek Jackson, Stefan Labossiere spectrum. He switched up from that. So he only dipped his toe in it when he saw that it was profitable. So I dare he sit there and try to argue that other people only hopped on because it was profitable. He hopped on because it was profitable, and now he's trying to hop off and take as much as the audience he can with him, so he can make a profit off of them. Like, that's what I mean when I talk about this overall fakeness and the shading that he do.
Gain from him. I mean, obviously he made good money from his books, but he was typing up and talking about these things for years. A lot of the neo red pillars, a lot of them came into when it was very profitable, and so I can't, in my community, we distinguish those two individuals.
If you would, let's get positive for a second. Let's just be positive. What do you see as the biggest benefit for men understanding intersexual dynamics, red pill, understanding how women operate?
This is good.
Give me the benefits you'd see of what they're talking about.
I wouldn't call it red pill. I would call it understanding evolutionary biology. So my book of choice for every man is Dr. David Buss's Evolution of Desire. Dr. David Buss.
That is a highly recommended book in the Black manosphere and is talked about quite a bit.
is a leading expert on evolutionary biology and especially in regards to human mating. He's a world-renowned expert. He has a Bus School of Psychology in Austin, Texas. So his book is absolutely phenomenal. Footnotes, data. So I would say learning from the primary sources like that give you the knowledge to not be naive in today's world. Because to Pearl's point, a lot of men grew up naive. A lot of men don't really understand what's going on. A lot of men also don't know the bad of marriages.
All right, here's the thing with that. Here's the thing with that. It's been a lot of discussion and debate in this space. I talked about how the David and Buss Evolution of Desires, Richard Dawkins, The Selfish Gene, all of those all of those books that really break down a lot of things at the core when it comes to human beings and how we and how we operate and why we do the things that we do. You know, like those books get discussed about here, and there's been lots of debates on that. And even when we talk about something like the I hate it, but you know, the Pookie and Ray Ray versus the Educated Lame discussion, a lot of those books were quoted in a lot of those debates. A lot of those books was quoted in a lot of those debates. Because if we're talking about, you know, the Pookie and Ray Ray and the thugs and women liking the bad boys and like that technically they don't explain it necessarily the way that we would explain it, but in a lot of those books they do break it down and explain it that yes, women do have a Darwinian itch from within or tingle or whatever. I don't know what I'm talking about when I say tingle, but they do have that. They do have that, and that guy who's boisterous with the don't give a fuck attitude, who you know walk around like he don't give a shit, and people get out his way when they see him coming. Like yes, something triggers off in the mind. There's some some neurological synaptic firing that takes place that makes her say, "Hey, I want to be next to that guy," because it fires off in her mind and her body. He has a biochemical reaction. This is a guy who could protect me. If men are afraid of him, this is the one who could protect me, even though the frontal lobe part of your brain would probably make you think, wait a minute, even though even though I feel something from within telling me to, you know, be with this dude, the frontal lobe part of my brain, the more evolved thinking part of my brain is probably saying that nah, this thug who, you know, he liable to have some other thugs shoot at him. I don't want to be in the car with that shit. But she can't run away from the Darwinian itch that's saying that this is an attractive guy who acts in a reckless way. Because 100,000 years ago, 200,000 years ago, when we was evolving, that reckless skull busting, skull cracking dude who pick up a brick, a rock, a sharp a sharp rock and crack somebody's skull with it, that was the guy who could protect them. That was the guy who could protect them. That was the guy that they felt safe around. So they can't help it if they evolve to still like that bad boy even in modern times. They can't help that. They can't help that. You know, they should help it because that guy is bad for their life. But that's where that that's where some of that. So we've had those debates and discussions when was breaking down, you know, women in the stupid shit that they do. And even in a lot of those debates and discussions, and we looking at the, you know, books, Evolution of Desires, all of that stuff, we can break down a lot of the things that we do, a lot of things that men do, you know. So we've done that. We've done that. We've been there. We've done that. We've had those debates. We've had those discussions. And I can explain all of that like that because I've read those books. Perfect Storm in the building said Hafeez reminds me of an infomercial just for 3 easy payments. Yeah, I'm with you on that. Blaze Skywalker in the building says Hafeez sounds like he's been interrogated nervously by the police, talking in circles to throw them off from the fact that he's lying. Bro, Bro, you late to the party if you even asking that question, and we already know that everybody's not lame, isn't a Pookie and a Ray Ray. We don't have it. We don't have the base level conversation over here. That's why I said I hate the debate, because the way that it's titled makes people put it in their mind that it's one or another. Like it's only two type of niggas that's walking the earth. Like, no, it's a lot of daylight in between those two. But I was saying, but the conversation did prompt a lot of good discussions. It did prompt a lot of good discussions, but just the setup of the whole argument and the discussion is just kind of stupid and on his face. So you're missing you're missing the point if you even asking that question. Like, we way past that. I don't even discuss it. I was just going back to where he's implying that people aren't reading those books. Like, a lot of those books and a lot of those things that he's quoting is the foundation for a lot of the conversations that we have. We just apply real life to it and relate it more to Black America, but we do look at a lot of those things.
And relationship as well. So Dr. David Buss's phenomenon, Dr. John Gottman in Washington is a rock star. He's been one of the leading experts on marriage for the past 40 years. John Gottman is able to predict divorce by 88% accuracy. You've seen him before? Mm-hmm. He's a beast. Mm-hmm. So to me, those primary sources, I love the primary sources. I would consider most red pill as secondary sources, but the actual doctors and experts and people who have been doing this for decades of their lives, I think there's so much benefit from learning from those individuals.
I'm gonna give you
okay. It's like, thank you for acknowledging sources that the red pill community quotes all the time, and saying that those sources are better than the red pill sources. Like, because the red pill guys are just guys on YouTube. Those are just guys on YouTube. But Hafeez, you're just a guy on YouTube. I hope you don't write a book someday, because then you would just be a dude on YouTube that wrote a book. Somebody would be a dick to basically say that, oh, no, your book ain't shit because it's not better or more in depth than the books written by PhDs who wrote books adjacent to the type of content and things that you're talking about. It's like, again, that's a dick move to basically say that Rollo Tomasi, he's good. All these writers who in the red pill manosphere space, they're good, but well, actually, no. He said in that previous debate, he said their shit is like Dr. Seuss compared to the PhDs who write more about the core Darwinian aspects of human mating and all of that stuff. He basically said their stuff is like Dr. Seuss, but by the same definition, the book that you write, if you haven't wrote one already, it's Dr. Seuss as well. Again, it's just him trying to figure out a way to bend over backwards to simply hate on manosphere and red pill content creators. That is essentially what he's doing. The link is in the chat. Anybody want to briefly come up and get a piece of this conversation? I didn't even realize I was 2 hours into. Time flies when you're doing a live show. Appreciate everybody who supported the stream thus far. I will briefly put the link in the chat room if anybody want to come up and get a piece of this conversation. I am only 30 minutes into it. I heard from somebody that I trust, once it goes further on, Pearl didn't exactly fare very well. I didn't think she fared very well in the first debate. I thought she did a bad job, even though everybody said she did a good job. But so if she ended up doing a bad job in this one, then oh well. But that may very well be the case. But either way it go, we are joined by Judge Zilla, the writer.
Hey, I'd rather. Well, she didn't do very good in the first one because she didn't get but 15 minutes to speak throughout the entire 3 hours. Mm-hmm. But yes. Secondarily, again, I rate that as Hafeez versus Hafeez, and he still loses. I don't understand how that works, but he pulled it off. But okay, this is one of those real problems that I have. Does he say he has does Hafeez say he has a degree in anything?
I'm assuming he went to college. Probably guess.
Went to college and has a degree.
I've never heard him say he had a degree in anything.
Yeah,
but I'm assuming. I just naturally assume he's a college graduate. But but he doesn't have a credentialed degree to speak to any of the topics that he does on the YouTube channel.
Well,
if he did, he would be telling us.
I'm aware that he doesn't have that. I'm just wondering because there's more people who've went to college and don't have degrees than people who have degrees, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here's my problem in YouTube in general. It's not just the manosphere, it's not just the black manosphere, but YouTube in general. This motherfucker read 2 books, right? And likely mangled the information disseminated in those books. Completely misrepresented or there's going to be some misinterpretation again because this is not his bailiwick, right? This is not what he's what he went to study if he went to school for, and he's not degreed in the. So you're talking about, and I get that these guys are trying to put these books out in as much layman speak as they can, right? But then you're supposed to go from these books to their published works, which are much more technical, and you'll get the breakdown and understanding. That's what bibliographies are for in books. That's what that's what those abstracts are for the other document and stuff that. But this person, by virtue of reading 2 books on a subject, is now an expert? Considers himself an expert. He's been...
Well, I don't think his thing is to try to present himself as an expert. His job is to try to present everybody else as not an expert and everybody else as you shouldn't get your information from them. And so who should they get their information from? Well, they should get it from him. But he never said he was an expert. He just said everybody else isn't an expert.
So electricians, carpenters, plumbers, right? They have an apprenticeship program, right? And you go through that apprenticeship program. Once you come out of that apprenticeship program, you become a journeyman, right? And then you gain more season, and then there's other levels. I just can't think of it there. Master and expert master and whatever, right? In their particular crafts. When you call somebody to come in to fix your pipes, you're calling in, and he doesn't have, right? And he does that himself, right? He's got 3 years of solid expertise of 50 weeks a year, 3 years worth of that, at least, to qualify to come in there to fix your pipes by himself. Not 2 books that he read on plumbing. So this gentleman who's telling you that these other people's opinion on YouTube doesn't mean as much as his, because he's been married for a year and he read 2 books.
Yeah, that sums up the argument quite well. Like I said, his whole mission for like the last 2-3 months has been to shit on, discredit, or try to pick apart aspects of red pill manosphere. Basically, content creators who have audiences of men. He's doing a corner the market strategy. I'm going to try to shade you guys in some type of way to try to get people to come to me. These guys aren't getting it right. They're doing this wrong. They're doing that wrong. If you're tired of that, come to death row. Like that's his content strategy.
And I have no greater credentials than them to fall on. Right. I'm just better.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But we got dirty folks in the building. What's going on?
Come to death row indeed, bro. I was going to type it, man. Then I saw you drop the link. I was actually going to say what the gentleman just said, because I got irritated when he was talking about he got his knowledge of how to be a man from books, and it really irked my soul, right? Because I've been a man for a long time now. I started off as a boy and, kind of made the journey from there, right?
Yeah, I didn't even catch that he said he got his knowledge of how to be a man from the books. I just thought I was giving him credit saying that he learned perspective on certain things. But if I didn't hear it like that, but I take your word. If he said he got his knowledge on how to be a man from a book, then yeah, that's weird.
Here's my thing. I've been talking to these toddlers, man, since I was a teenager, going to the mall with a bag of cookies, me and my friends trying to see who can get the most phone numbers. Right?
Right.
It only takes 10,000 hours to be a master of everything, of anything. You don't need a book. You just need 10,000 hours of applicable ability. So you have kinetic energy and potential energy. Books are potential energy. There's a lot of girls that can read the IKEA instructions, and it's a lot of guys who start building the shelf without reading the instructions at all. Right? So you're looking at a guy who's telling you, I don't know anything about women. What I learned about how men's experiences with women, I read from scholars, which is another thing that women do. Women and boomers. He talk like a boomer. I ain't gonna say he a woman. The titles thing. You ever met a married woman? A married woman, I don't know her husband's name. His name is my husband. I don't care what married woman you talking to. Her husband's name is my husband because she addresses him by title. There's my niece is a doctor. She has a PhD. And I told her, I said, I don't care if they call you Dr. Bonner. I'm still going to call you niece because she wanted a title. Girls live for titles. Guys live for accomplishment. And the fact that he goes back on doctor such as, bro, I'm a doctor. I got my doctorate in theology off the internet, nigga. That doctor shit don't mean nothing, bro. But I got it because I know girls love titles. So then I'm like, when I'm not being dirty, folks, I'm minister, a doctor, minister. You know what I'm saying? For the church. So,
Hold on, wait. That was an example. You actually have a theology degree.
Yeah, man, I bought it off the internet.
Straight up.
Yeah, I'm calling.
Yeah, there used to be a whole bunch of paper mills.
Damn.
I don't know if they're still around, but there used to be a whole bunch of paper mills.
Before I pass it back to Dr. Dirty Folks, President Mike, you said man. I don't know if that was like man or man. Most of these manosphere dudes is a perfect product of a single mother. The fuck you mean by that? Most black people raised in single mother households. So what the hell you mean most of these manosphere dudes are perfect products of single mother? This is a space where we break down the programming to get people from not acting like they was raised by a single mother. So I don't know what the fuck that statement means. Substantiate that statement or take the goddamn link to come up and explain what you mean. Go ahead, Dirty Folks. You got it.
No, that just irritated. I was about to take my old man nap, man. I was listening to you as I was about to take my nap, and I heard that, and I got so frustrated. I was like, "Yo, I got to type this out." And then you dropped the link. I just want to say something real quick, man. The only person in media who I can relate to, I relate to a lot of people, but they normally pimps. You know what I mean? But the only person that did content, hours of audio content that I could say, yo, I could relate to him was Patrice O'Neal. It was the life experience. Patrice O'Neal said something 20 years ago about Passport Bros that I just saw the other day. Because he did. So all this content, so that's I know it's like 15, 20 years ago. He said he likes to go to Brazil to get pros because it's not about the woman, it's about the customer service. And when I thought about that this morning, I was triggered. I was going to do a show about it because I saw one of the Passport Bros show a picture of some girls from out the country, like it's better out here. And I said, you know what? I get it. I get it. The girls in other countries are 1990s Chicago girls or LA girls or whatever. They're just 1990s girls. They just backwards. Like, remember the cartoon back in the day, City Wolf and Country Wolf? Like the country wolf come to the city like, oh my God, it's the city. And then the city wolf go to the country like, oh my God, slow girls. They're on the oh my God, slow girls, but they still the same girls. And it just occurred to me this morning. And I had to like, yo, Patrice O'Neal said it. Like, yo, it's the customer service. And that's not something that's in a book. There's no book that says, yo, you go out the country because you get better customer service.
Yes.
Go ahead, bro.
All they gotta do, look, it's real fucking simple. I'm sorry. It's real simple. Sorry. Make a better product. the stuff that you have, right? The base model is not selling anymore. Make improvements to the base model to make it more like the previous model, but in a newer form. It's that's all they have to do. But if they're unwilling to do that, then somebody's going to go to a different store to get what they want. If another store has it, they're going to go to it. Like secondarily on what you said earlier, 2 points. First is right. Here's the crazy thing here, right? In the West, and I saw this. Somebody made in a blurb about this. I saw this in the West. Sex work is real work. So selling pussy is real work in the West. But buying pussy is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Make it make sense.
I can make it make sense.
It's respectable work to sell pussy now. But if you purchase pussy, it's not respectable.
I can make it make sense. Y'all let fat girls get a voice. The chicks who used to hold the coats at the club and knew she was fat, y'all came on social media and told her she was pretty. And now ugly girls make the rules.
Well, no. What I'm saying is like in the West here, you could have somebody selling pussy looking down at you for buying the pussy.
I get what you're saying. There's only 3 men, on my channel. I call them toddlers because they got the emotional maturity of 4-year-olds. That's why I keep the crayons and stuff in the back for the girls because I love the women. So when I tell guys train your toddler, you have to teach your toddler the way to go, and your toddler will never go astray. Guys keep seeing them as adults, but they're not adults. That's why they don't take the blame for everything. Everything's your fault. They pregnancy your fault. They lifestyle your fault. Everything's your fault. If it's your fault, you daddy, because everything daddy fault, right? Daddy got to fix it. That's fine. That's cool. The problem is the only three men that could train a toddler is their father, their husband, and the pimp. They don't have fathers, and they don't want husbands, and they just being pimping illegal. When we were young, prostitutes and johns used to get arrested, and the pimps would bond the prostitute out. Now prostitution is legal, but pimping is illegal.
The only other last thing is you said with the IKEA reference. Unfortunately, now you have people who think they know what they're doing, throw away the instructions, begin to put together their IKEA product, and that ottoman unfortunately has 3 backwards legs, and the back of the chair. Sorry, that chair now looks like an ottoman, and it's supposed to be an upright back chair.
I agree with you.
Like they and they have 47 pieces left over in the box.
I agree.
So I don't know, man. I like this dude. I can't get this dude. I can't get how what fascinates me about this space. This just YouTube in general, overall general, and then these advice channels type things, is the obvious level of ridiculousness, yet they have followings that it's amazing. Like it's either I had a customer facing business, right? I was involved in a customer preparing taxes, right? So I met a lot of the public, for a very short period of time, in sequestration. So, but I still could not contemplate that somebody could be that, like, the level of the lack of intellect that it takes to follow somebody like this, when it's obvious in your face that this is a charlatan, a con artist, a snake oil salesman.
Okay,
and then to continue to hand over money to him is like insanity to me.
Here's the problem with your dynamics, right? And here's where I'm not going to piss off the host today and say you colors, right? Here's the problem with your analysis. 70% of America are functional illiterates. Your problem is you read above.
Well, hold on, wait, hold on. You wouldn't piss me off when you say if you by saying you colors. I talk about black people all the time. It's the way you word it when you make it seem like I'm the one that hold that position that you're debunking when you say y'all, because it's the conjunction word is you and all. So I'm thinking he talking about me and the rest of it. I'm like, well, no, not me, nigga. But no. I'm going to talk about
no, I'm talking about Americans in general. 70% of Americans are functional illiterates, and almost 90% of black men are functional illiterates, because 47% are high school dropouts, and the rest, they just get through it because no child left behind, right? So you seek water seeks its own level. So if you dumb and somebody just a little bit smarter than your dumb, you understand them, right? You can name drop, you can book drop, and people say they must be smart because people like titles. People who don't know shit like titles. So when you read above a 6th grade level, you like, yo, that's just dumb. Like, who believes this? 70% of America.
Well, that's with that point, right? This is my point. I made an assertion when I came up here initially, right, Bernard? That this person read 2 books and he probably mangled the material. Why did I come to the conclusion that he probably mangled the material, right? Because his reading level and his acumen is not up to snuff to interpret the material. How did I glean that from Hafeez? Because the motherfucker can't say phenomenon.
That's hilarious.
Or phenomenal. Among other words, while he's on a public, he's a public speaking person who cannot speak appropriately in public. Now, I expect something like this from Charleston White. I expect something like this from Shannon Sharp, right? But they're not claiming to be experts on relationships or anything else, or anything regarding in the sciences, medicine, biology, or anything else or anthropology. Anthropology. Sorry, my mistake. Anthropology. So when you're fumbling on what you do, 15% of the time or better of the words that come out of your mouth, and what you do is public speaking, then I know that you're fumbling more than that on shit that you don't know what you're doing with.
I don't even think that's the problem, and I don't think that's why he has followers. I mean, that is a problem, and it is your problem with him, and I get that. I have my own beef with Steve Harvey that's a lot like that. Here's the real issue. Men in general, but black men in particular, love women, and that's what makes them dumb. They don't. There's one thing to men are possessive people. I like my car, my friends, my girl. Black men in general love women as an abstract, and when they lack the skill set or the aptitude or the charisma to get women, the next thing they can do is eliminate other men, so they'll be the last one left, so they're the only good man. So there's a lot of guys that want to be the only good man, and the only way you could be the only good man is to remove the better men. You have to discount the better men, and that's what he's doing.
It's a lot of that going on, and he's doing it from a content creation, content strategy standpoint. Like I was explaining that. And Nate, I think if you said you wanted the link, yeah, you come on up if you want the link. But it's in the chat. I think Jackie Jack just posted the link. I don't think I got the link. Let's see if I got it still. Oh yeah, there it is. All right, I just posted it. Jackie posted it, and Rod of God, the podcast in the building, says you're doing the Lord's work. BR salute. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Appreciate everybody who's supporting the stream. Appreciate each and every one of you. See that was essentially my point. And he's looking at he's doing what you did, but not for like women, but for just the hearts and minds of the audience. What audience? All the men on YouTube, whether you call it Black Manosphere, Red Pill, whatever the hell, he's basically saying he wants their audience. He has to eliminate them. He has to kick dirt on them. Have to sling as much mud as he possibly can on them. that basically say they're getting this wrong, they're getting that wrong. Yeah, he's dirty. Yeah, Indigo Flow. He's dirty macking. It's just one big dirty mac. That's what.
Wouldn't it be wiser for him? Wouldn't it be wiser for him to go with disgruntled Jacksonites?
We'll go after the yes. The disgruntled
wouldn't that
women.
be more easier and lucrative for him instead of trying to like that would make more sense for for what he's trying to sell.
He's trying to cater it to men. He's trying to cater it to men. He doesn't want to go in the pander to women business. So
but that's what he's doing.
But I don't know. He has a weird and I would say destined to fail marketing strategy if he's going after. He's targeting men. You know, he has this little suit line called The Standard. What is it to become a man of the standard? And, you know, and how he's basically his goal, what he's trying to do, trying to teach men how to get their money, their success up and have a family and blah, 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 blah. He's trying to sell the married lifestyle on some, almost in the same context. I mean, he didn't have on the suit today and everything, but he tries to sell it in like the money, cars, clothes, like the money, cars, clothes, and hoes married man lifestyle image type of thing. It's like that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. If he doesn't have a slightly changed instrumental of next call me, stay right by me, and I'll be like right behind him, or my wifey type of like if it's not a remix of that instrumental behind him in this thing, like that's what should be right behind him, right? You get where I'm at?
Yeah, but he's on some bullshit. He's on some bullshit. I get what you're saying, but no, he would have to target women, and that's not what he's doing. So that's why I'm saying it's a content strategy destined to fail, to where he just look like he's to me, he's looking like Cuba Gooding Jr. fighting the air, trying to basically convince a Manosphere audience to hop on board with him while hating on the Manosphere. Now, there is an effective way to do that, and I'm not going to name no names. There are some people who have effectively done that, but he ain't doing it the right way. But anyway, passing it to Little Big Nate in the building.
I wasn't even expecting to come up here. I'd seen your thumbnail and everything. I was like, oh snap, he's still okay, because you don't know when Bernard Riley's coming on these days. Yeah. And, so I caught it. I think I missed the first 2 hours. So I'm assuming he was on the Valuetainment channel with Just Pearly Things again.
Yeah.
And he made a fool of himself, I guess, again.
Well, I don't know if he made a fool of himself, because he was saying a bunch of bullshit, but he was trying to be, he wasn't as, schizophrenic about it this time.
Oh, okay.
He tried to deliver it in a more measured way, but he still said a lot of bullshit. And people, I didn't even watch. I watched the first 30 minutes of it. People who said they saw the whole thing, and one particular person that I trust who saw the whole thing said that Pearly Things didn't exactly come off that good either in this one.
Really? Okay.
But either way it goes, yeah, he went with his normal spiel of trying to come at Red Pill, Manosphere, or whatever. That was basically the gist of it. That was basically the gist of it.
Very interesting. Well, I'm definitely going to go watch it when I'm done, because I might do some content on it. But the thing I noticed about Hafeez, actually, O'Shea, he doesn't really share a lot of my stuff, but he shared this one. I call him High Top Hafeez. I put like a high top fade on his head, and I had like him being dragged by a black woman who just gotten married, and I put his face on the little black body that was being dragged. And, I kind of joked on him and clowned him, because I looked at his apology. He literally contradicted himself 3 times during his apology. That quote unquote apology he did, that really wasn't an apology at all to Red Pill or to men who are, tired of the way the system's been set up. And, he went away for a while. Like, he took a month. I didn't see or hear anything from him, really. And I guess
really, like, he hadn't been posted. I mean, I
didn't see much of anything.
So I don't.
Just me personally, I might have missed it.
Yeah, I'm going to investigate right now, right at the sound of your voice. I'm about to go investigate and see if he actually.
After that apology, I think he dipped out for a little bit, And if he did, if he didn't, that's fine. But it sounds like he's made some adjustments, because one of the things I noticed about Hafeez when he was giving that fake apology, he is the most rehearsed person I've ever seen in my life. Everything he does is rehearsed. If you look at if you pull up that apology, watch how he moves his hands. It's the same repetitive motion of his hands, like he went to learn how to give a speech school. He just his hands. He does the same thing with them, and like he'll move both hands while he's talking. Then he'll move the right hand. Then he'll move the left hand. It's so rehearsed and weirdo. It's so easy to see when somebody's not speaking from a genuine place. And he doesn't. He speaks from a place where he's hoping it will maneuver him to, get the most followers, and he can be the next Kevin Samuels, Dr. Phil mashup. I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I think it's a genuine space. I think
he's genuine.
I don't think what he says is genuine. I think that this is what he does. This is what he does.
Okay, go ahead.
And who said this in the chat? Shaka Neal said it, that she parrots men's talking points. That's all these toddlers do.
Yes.
And I don't begrudge any of them. I begrudge the men who donate thousands of dollars every live stream, but they don't support male content.
I try not to go in on that, because I don't want to be the hater who's sitting here doing streams talking shit about other people making money and why they ain't giving me that money. Because then I'll basically be Hafeez.
That's a slippery slope. It is.
So it's a slippery slope, but I understand where you're coming from.
That's a slippery slope.
Yes. And I'm just articulating what I noticed. Look, if they gave you all the money, I wouldn't care. The thing is to listen to a woman speak a man talking point, and because this is all that, especially black men, this is all black men want. And this is not Hafeez. This is the audience. What black men want, for their whole lives, they've been taught that they're wrong for feeling like a man by women. All the way into the pandemic, all you heard girls say is,
"I'm not like that, and I don't know no women like that. So you need to choose better."
All these girls did was say, "I'm not like that, but I know a woman like that." And guys went crazy, like, "I know I wasn't nuts." But guys have been telling you forever, like, yo, we're not all dating that same one Keisha. Like, we all got the same story, no matter our age, our demographic, our regional, location. We all know Keisha. We all ain't dating the same girl. You know what I mean? So
I don't mean to cut you off, but did that little voice thing, do it like come in like Darth Vader or any other sound? Like I
think it does though.
I got a Darth Vader.
I got the new.
Oh God! Oh boy!
Oh
man! Oh my God!
But hey, make the podcast better. So my thing is, what Hafeez is doing is he's doing the only good man speech against a woman though. So she's repeating male talking points, and he's sticking to the code of. But women do it too, basically. Like, women are wonderful. I can trust women. That's why I don't have a prenup. Like, yo, women are great. Yeah. What type of women are you got? Like, you choose better. He's doing the girl talking point. Choose better. The problem is he keeps going with Pearly, and Pearly is a girl. So to Lil Big Nate's point, it's not that he's disingenuous. It's he's trying to figure out how to tell a woman who's saying that women are bad, that women are great, because that's how he's programmed. And he fumbles it because he's not. It's not that he's not genuine. He knows his audience, but he doesn't know how to relate that she's wonderful because she has a vagina to a girl who's saying like, "Yo, I know some raggedy ass chicks."
Well, I'll be honest with you, Dirty Folks, and you'll be able to see Dirty Folks at the Manosphere meetup. Just to let you know. And I got another announcement, even though it's not Sunday. I don't know if we were even doing anything Sunday.
No, I can't do it on Sunday.
Yeah, you just hit my text.
Yeah, I've been meaning to text you because I've been debating on whether or not I was going to be able to do it, but I
no problem, bro.
So that's why I was prolonging hitting you back. But yeah, but no problem. I can't do it. We'll talk though.
But my issue with women has always been this, and the men that listen to them. All right. Because I told y'all, my first little channel no monetization, nothing from YouTube. They hate me. My first little channel, 2,500 subscribers in 9 months. I made between 20 and 30 grand. I know these women are killing it with YouTube's monetization and the way brothers be dropped. I know these females are killing it. My only issue with the men is this: if you genuinely like her content, and if you do, that's great. I've given cash apps full, full disclosure. I've given cash apps to Crimson Cure. What's her name? Miss Melody Speaks used to come to my channel. She hit my cash app. I go to hers and hit hers, just being respectful. I've sent Pink Book Lessons some cash apps, not large amounts of money, but these are the women I would support because, I genuinely respect their content. My issue with the men is when you're dropping 50, 100, 200, 500 on women, and it's not because you love their content, it's because you're hoping they'll notice you. You're hoping you can parlay that into getting into her life or into her house. That's dangerous. And again, if you love their content, man, do what you do. I'm a conservative. I ain't telling nobody what to do, except not be a Democrat. I do tell people that. But I'm not going to tell you what to do in any other way. But if you want to give money to the women, that's fine. But let it be for their magnificent content. I've listened to a lot of the women, and there's those I like, there's those I'll pass on. But somebody like Crimson Cure actually speaks on things I have never heard before. The 4 Ps and other systems of social life I haven't heard of her before. So I actually learn things when I listen to her. And Pink Book Lessons, I just like how she gets down. She calls shit out, and I appreciate that. But I think a lot of these brothers are putting this money on these ladies because they're genuinely hoping to parlay that into something more, and it's not going to happen. She's getting dug out, bro. Trust me.
Yeah, any female content creator has men behind her helping her out. They all have a male sponsor. I just want to say one thing real quick because I love people named Oak. I have an affinity for the name Oak. So this is for you, bro. I got in one little fight. My mom got scared and said, "You
Who with your auntie and uncle in Bel Air?"
there you go, bro. There you go.
Oh shit! All right, hold on, real quick, y'all. This is what I was talking about, and to the thing that you talked about, Nate, that he kind of went away. He did go away on his main channel.
Gotcha.
I mean, not his main channel, the channel that's under his name, Hafeez Abuka or whatever the hell. He did do some content on the roommates channel. That's the one they got to keep doing content on because I mean that's where they got all those subscribers and that's how they make their money. Even though it don't seem like it's exactly doing good views and everything right now. I mean, it's decent views, but I mean for a channel that big, I don't know if it's actually killing it. I don't know if it's actually killing it, but he look, 4 days ago a video was dropped, 5 days ago, 7 days ago, 9 days ago. These are like little 10-minute pre-records and shit like that. Like so they're doing a so yeah, it do look kind of like he went away a little bit. It do look like
I told you he did. That nigga he fucked up. He fucked up royally with what he did. He did.
No, but he on his channel that's under his name, he hadn't done nothing in a month. So you were right about that. One thing that I got, and shout out to the Clue channel. He said, "Good call, Nate." I don't even remember what call he talking about. But y'all remember when I said he's trying to basically sell the money, cars, clothes, and hoes lifestyle, but with like a blue pill married man spin on it. Like look at the imagery on his channel. Like he's trying to sell this successful, baller, get money, be successful, be the top 1%, be a man of the standard lifestyle. There he is,
but
pool
be
with
married
women
and devoted to your wife. Wow, interesting.
I know, but I'm just saying, just from the marketing image stand. Yeah, okay, yeah, there it is. The life of a 1% man. That's so it's like he's trying to do that while simultaneously shitting on Red Pill and Manosphere, but saying, but this is what I offer. This is what I can give you. It's like it's a strategy to try to say that they're not telling you how to be successful like this. I can get you in these rooms. I can get you in I can get you in this picture right here with these men with tight pants on, and in this picture with that's essentially what he's doing. That's what his whole strategy is, basically. That's the strategy.
He's in the wrong
I
lane.
have a question.
Oh my God, he's in the wrong lane.
I have a question. Not to say that I agree with him and what he's saying, but how dominant is the red pill if you have an ugly red-headed stepchild representing you in a debate like this?
Oh my God.
Okay, first off, I didn't hire her to be the goddamn representation. Let's just make that very clear.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I know, but the thing is this:
nobody knows what I'm saying. Is nobody. Hold on, real quick.
You said it multiple. We get it. You're not a hater. We get it. But at the end of the
hold
day,
on, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? Stop! I wasn't about to tell you that I wasn't a hater. I was about to say I didn't vote her in. She algorithmed herself in, and when you hit the algorithm that hard to the point to where you got 1 million subscribers, you are bigger than the manosphere or red pill space. It doesn't even matter. Everybody in the manosphere and the red pill could say that this woman is an awful bitch and we don't like her. The algorithm is still going to send her content to other people who are going to look at her content and say, hey, that's nice content. I like it. I subscribe. I watch it here and there. That's what I'm saying.
And it's the same algorithm that will ban people, right? It's the same algorithm. Hold on a second. You said it's the algorithm. So if we're saying that it's the algorithm, it's not me. I didn't vote her in. It's the algorithm. And it's the exact same algorithm that will ban people and take other people's channels away.
Well, let's go to Rumble.
So this right here sounds like subversion.
Let's go
Why is it that this individual is allowed to be on here and say these things, but people who have said the exact same things are banned? And what I'm telling you that
I got the we agree. We got the same exact beef with the YouTube pilot bureau as you do. So yeah, everybody got the issue with the YouTube pilot bureau.
Can I point out something real quick? She's been demonetized several times.
She's on Vice TV. She's on one of the largest. Hold on a second. She's on one of the largest.
Ignore the fact.
She's on one of the largest networks on YouTube.
You're gonna ignore.
All right. Hold on. Wait, everybody. Hold on. Let me mute up everybody. One, let's bring it down a notch because I'm not that passionate about this chick to where I'm going to even allow an argument about her to take place. I mean, we can have a discussion about some bullshit, but we're not about to have an intense, people raising their voices and shit over. No, we ain't about to do that. We about to chill and have a conversation. And I get you. So let's just chill and just talk. Let's just chill and just talk. Let's bring it down a few notches and just chop it up. All right.
I didn't come up here wilding though. Somebody.
No, you ain't coming up here
wilding. Why? Because I told the truth that she's ugly?
No, you didn't tell me.
That's an ugly woman. That is an ugly woman. That is a woman that should not be on the internet at all. Is she ugly?
The entire truth.
The entire truth of what?
No, wait a minute. Yeah, this is not an argument. The woman is average at best looking, okay? She's average at best.
A woman that couldn't make it on OnlyFans, a woman that had to find a hustle some way to get famous. She's not going to get famous based upon her looks. How else is she going to get it?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
so what I'm saying, but look at the minute that I come in here, look at the supposed dudes who are supposedly red pill. The minute that I make that comment, they jump in to save her.
No.
Maybe your internal nature is a little bit rigged.
Hold on. Nobody. The only reason I jumped in on you, I didn't jump in on that comment. I think she's average at best. The only time I jumped in on you is when you tried to blame the manosphere for her success, for her spamming the algorithm with 18 videos per day. You can't blame me or anybody else.
Never blamed you.
You can't blame anybody in the manosphere, anybody that's red pill, for her building a nice studio set, bringing. Okay, good. Nobody in the manosphere or nobody that's red pill could be blamed for her building a good studio set and making some entertaining content and spamming the algorithm with 18 videos per day until she climbed up to damn near 1 million subs. That was hold on. That was the only thing I took an issue with, and that's it. But if you want to call her, hold on, wait, stop. if you want to call her ugly, you ain't gonna get no argument from me.
What is?
I mean, go ahead.
You said nobody voted her in the manosphere. What is the manosphere? Is there a council of manosphere? Is this an
Nope.
organization of some sort?
Nope.
So the point that I made, the original point that I made before you say nobody voted her in, which is not what I said, right? The point that I made is, how can somebody ask why wouldn't somebody question the legitimacy of the red pill movement if you have an ugly, ruddy, redhead stepchild representing you? That was my exact question. And then you came in when I didn't vote her in and we didn't vote her in. Number one, nobody's really organized. It's a bunch of people saying that they're representing this. And that's how you can have somebody like this step in. Then you made a point on the algorithm. And so my question is, why is the algorithm choosing this, right, and eliminating others?
It's as you said earlier, it is Susan being subversive, right? I use Susan as the representation of the administration of Google YouTube, right? It's her being it's their methodology of being subversive, right? While also nixing channels, several over and on again, i.e. Little Big Nate down here, right? And others like that, and promoting her through and promoting her and maybe demonetizing her, but allowing her to still lead in the amount of impressions that she gives across the demographics available.
I think it's bigger than that, because by this, Fresh and Fit also has 1 million subs, and so and they talk about their shit is way more graphic than hers, and they talk about way more ill shit and say way more ill shit than what she does. She does like I would say a watered down
she's
version.
following the rules. She's being a good girl.
Yeah, she does a more watered down version of what they do, but they both did a good job at building a nice studio, getting good guests to come in and having good debates and spamming the algorithm with some entertaining content. That's the main thing. But as far as her representing, I mean, she don't represent me. So, but you do make a good point when you say how does the red pill look if somebody like that could represent it? The point that I'm trying to make to you is that when you spam the algorithm that hard and you blow up that fast, when you're closing in on 1 million subs, you have an audience outside of the red pill community. The red pill community is more smaller and packed in tight. Once you get to 1 million subs, you're just in the general YouTube space. So that's why I always
on top, there's another thing.
And that's why I always push. That's why I always push back when people.
The point that I'm making.
That's why I always push back when people try to say y'all anointed this person. I'm like, well, I didn't anoint shit. I just looked at
and Bernard. Bernard, it was the same thing with Kevin Samuels.
Holy shit! Well, everybody, please stop. Okay, I understand you didn't say use the word anoint, but you did say how strong is the red pill as a space if if a chick like this can represent. The problem with it is because it's the open free market of YouTube and the open free market of a YouTube algorithm.
It's free.
Nobody.
YouTube is a free market.
It's a free market in the sense that anybody could turn on their damn camera and make some damn content, but it's not free market.
And Andrew Tate.
It's not free market in the sense that there's somebody at the top.
Tell that to Big Nate's first channel.
Holy shit. It's not a free market in the sense that somebody at the top can decide who wins and who loses, but it is a free market that anybody can turn on their camera and make some damn content. So the fact that the only point that I'm making is that she turned on her camera, she made some damn content, she grew out into some greater YouTube algorithm, and now she's winning, and that's that. To the point that you made about the that there is no council, there is no manosphere door that you let people in or let people out. Anybody could just look at manosphere content and say, let me hashtag this, let me at this, let me make this title, let me make this thumbnail, let me spam the algorithm. And if the algorithm don't fuck them over, they will grow up and blow up and be amazing and be killing it and make hundreds of thousands of dollars and they don't even need a high five from Rollo Tomasi in order to get it. In fact, Rollo don't even like the bitch. So that's why it just turns into a weird conversation where it's because anybody can claim the shit. Anybody could do the shit. And so there's no barriers to entry. Anybody could do it, even if people at the core don't like them. Fresh and Fit don't like her. Rolo don't like her. A lot of people don't like her. It don't matter who likes her and who doesn't like her.
Well, YouTube likes her, obviously.
Well, exactly. That's my point.
And
that's my point.
That is barriers to entry.
And if I could chime in real quick,
and it's not something that everybody can do.
The same exact thing happened to Kevin Samuels. The same exact thing. Okay, he did the work. He hit the algorithm. He blew up like crazy, and then there's all these elements calling him out. And I'll be honest with you, appearing to be jealous. I'm not saying that's necessarily what's happening here with just Pearly things, but how can anyone deny that she's done the work? I mean, shit, it is what it is.
Because a year ago there wasn't a group of people with the FBI saying that they're going to go after a manosphere when Kevin Samuels was doing it. During that time period, right? When you have people now,
actually, you're mistaken.
Let me. So
wait, hold on, wait. Did you say something incorrect?
The amount of articles that have been written about the manosphere since that day, let's take him passing away to right now, right? The amount of articles that have been written about the manosphere and going after people in the FBI, the head of the disinformation board, who I think she stepped down, was talking about going after this kind of stuff.
They got rid of the whole thing.
Patriot, you're mistaken. You're mistaken. There have already been 2 manosphere purges previous to what you're speaking of. So it didn't start when you say it started. It's been over a decade of this.
Okay,
right? That's why it's decentralized now for a reason. Because once you set up a hierarchy and you set up a council board, guess what happens?
They come after him.
Okay. So you're telling me. Let me ask you a question. So you're telling me that the stuff, because she did this and she did that supposedly, right? Are you telling me that the stuff that comes out of her mouth, you've never heard it before?
Oh God, no! All the 98% of these women don't have an original thought.
Okay, so then for you to sit up here and say that there is nothing extra that has went into this,
okay, let me clarify.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I didn't say that.
Wait. I didn't say it, but I think that this is a ridiculous point because I don't think that you accept that white woman is God, bro. So white woman is God. No, for real. If we're having an argument about just Pearly and we're juxtaposing it with content creators like Crimson Cure and what's her name, Melanie King, and all of those women who use male talking points and then get supported by men, what you have is a cuckold problem, sir. You don't have an algorithm problem. Because I didn't know who Jess Pearly was until she did the thing with Coach Greg Adams, and Hafeez got himself in trouble, and now he's riding on the coattails of a white woman to try to get his name back. So we know more about her because of Hafeez than we do from her original content.
Well, I found out about her when she had about maybe 500,000 subs. That was when I found out about her. So I mean,
I didn't think she
so
was.
That's why I credit the algorithm. When I found out about when she had 500,000 subs, I was like, how the hell did she do that? So I went and looked and I studied a little bit, and then eventually she was on Obsidian. She explained what I kind of figured out in my studying, that she be spamming the alg. I mean, listen, you can't watch her content and say that just the average layperson. I mean, obviously we heard all that shit, but the average layperson just see a thumbnail on YouTube and click on it. Okay. I understand why they would be entertained. I understand why they would be entertained.
Before I knew her name.
And then so you take that and then you extrapolate it to her putting out 18 videos a day. She has a whole team and a staff of she's made a vertical business out of YouTube. I mean, the whole business, the whole business of YouTube, she did the damn thing. I mean, so it kind of is what it is.
Yeah.
And so who keeps saying while I'm talking? Who keeps saying while I'm talking?
No, I was just giving her flowers because she's such a hard worker.
But bro,
that's what you want me to do, right?
I saw her.
No, I don't want you to do shit.
No, I saw her videos for years.
No, but only thing that
But it's
I don't understand how you're blaming us or the general manosphere for her taking advantage of a system that's there for her to take advantage of.
Thank you.
If
That's what.
if that's a case, listen to what you just said. If that's a case, then you shouldn't have any problem with divorce laws, child support, all the women that falsely accuse men. Look at what you just
You're
said.
blaming
You're
us.
No, I'm
Blame
not
the
blaming you.
fucking
No, I'm not
system.
blaming you at all.
No, you came up here. You came
I'm
up here to ride
I'm
on
not
us.
blaming you at all.
Hold on, bruh. Hold on. I need to say this.
I will say that
came
that
up-
last
you
statement was
came-
ridiculous.
You came up here essentially like, okay, you could say you didn't come at us or you didn't
No,
come
I
at
didn't
like
at all.
this didn't okay, this wasn't directed towards us. All right, cool. All right, what is it?
I just say I
directed towards us?
recognize a
But it
gatekeeper.
sounds like
I recognize
you're
a gatekeeper.
yes,
I
yeah,
recognize
yeah.
subversion, right? And I recognize.
But it's hold on. It started out. Well, how strong is this red pill or this
How strong
manosphere?
is it?
That means
How
that
strong is
means
it?
hold on, wait, time out. That means that you were not raging at the machine. That means you did rage at, for lack of a better word, us.
No, I'm not. So you're the representation of red pill, Bernard Riley?
What the fuck?
And can I say this? Bernard,
you're the
can I say this, please?
What the
Can I
fuck?
say this?
The statement
any
still
panel-
stands. How effective is your message, right? This is the modern, moderate
Be
conservative.
careful, because it's about to sound like you're coming at us for pearly things.
No,
being
I'm not
successful.
coming.
Be careful.
Come on, man.
Be careful. You about to do it again, and then you're gonna say you didn't do it. So go ahead.
Okay. The thing I said is, how effective is your message if literally hypocrisy represents you?
How
Yes.
is
woman the only way?
I got a question, Bernard. Please.
Go ahead.
What hypocrisy? What are you talking about?
A woman talking, a woman who feels that she needs to put on her cape for men and understands their needs and can speak to their needs.
Okay,
if a woman wants to be feminine, she should shut up.
Let me ask you
Content creation is not feminine. It's not.
Let me ask you this. Which is worse, or which is more detrimental? A woman spreading the message that we have to hundreds of thousands of people who are not part of this space and who have never heard it, but the first time they hear it is from this woman, or the anger that you have that some of the people listening to her message may have come from this space. Like for instance, I don't want to turn this. I don't want to turn this into
sound like
a
a woman
conversation
right now. Your anger. You sound. Are you listening to emotion or the
All right,
content
let him make
of
his
my
point.
message?
Let him make his
No.
point. Go ahead.
I'm listening to somebody that came up here to knock tables over. To be honest,
I didn't. Well, that's what Jesus did.
It's
Like,
it's
and
not
maybe
my
I'm a Christian. I don't present women.
I want to hear
as-
Nate make his point. Go ahead, Nate.
Women should not be teaching.
Hold on.
Okay.
Anything.
Well,
Anything.
Ultimately, if that's your
That's
opinion,
real
I
red
can
pill.
respect that. I can respect that. That's your opinion. But unfortunately, this is in Afghanistan, and they do have all the amendments and the rights that are in the Constitution afforded to them also. Now, my thing is this: if a lot of these women, and I'm not going to name any names, but many of them built their platforms on Facebook and brought their audience to YouTube. Now, are some of the men that might be in the space now listening to them too? Sure. But you don't want to make a distinction between the women that built a platform somewhere else and then came to YouTube and then built up their shit. I mean, just to automatically throw all of them away because they're women, it's just not something I'm interested in doing.
I'm sure, because you need an enabler. You need somebody to enable you.
Let me finish.
You need validation.
I would prefer to make distinctions between ones who could be genuine allies and the one here's just to take advantage. And I'd have more respect for what you say if you could do that, because you're operating off the premise that they're all just evil and they're all just here to take over and they're all just full of shit and don't believe anything they say. Can you at least make a distinction that there might be a couple that don't, or just because they have vaginas, they're liars and they're here to scam and take advantage?
I do not permit a woman to teach or to have authority over a man. She must be silent. 1 Timothy 2:12.
Understood.
Right? That's what I'm saying. So for me, I don't even, the whole idea of even quote unquote debating, right? Even that whole idea, right? So you're a feminine woman who's teaching femininity, but you're debating a man. Like I said, This is
femininity.
this she doesn't have femininity courses or any of that kind of stuff.
I think she does.
I don't think so.
Okay, yeah, she does.
But
Yes, she does.
but here's the
okay.
thing though. Hold on, wait. To the extent that you're right, it is some of them who, I mean, they got their card pulled on that because they were masquerading as a femininity channel, and then they got kind of checked on that, and then
April Mason.
They would that's different from what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those that are like that speak the sentiments of the manosphere. Y'all ain't no femininity channels. At best, you're like a male. You're a male advocate. You advocate for your woman advocating for men. That's essentially what they are. So yeah. So when they try to also sprinkle some femininity lessons on it, when you have an audience of seemingly 90% men, it's like, nah, that's some bullshit. So I generally agree with you on that, and I understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from with the women teaching. I don't use the Bible. I don't use the Bible for this shit. But where I'm at with it, I have zero interest in going to a woman's channel to try to learn or gain anything. So
and the thing
I'm 100% with you on that, but.
And I'm not saying that we can't have female representation, right? Like I get, okay, so hold on a second. So if we're gonna get female representation, can we at least get some women who are attractive? Can we at least get women with big titties and big because hold on a second. Because you can talk all day long, but dudes aren't attracted to women based upon how they talk. They're attracted based upon how they look. So if I'm gonna serve somebody at my Manosphere diner, can we at least get some attractive waitresses in my Manosphere diner to attract?
I gotta ask
my message,
Nate, if you will.
This just seems like me to somebody that couldn't sell their foot pics because their toes were too long, and so they needed a new grift. So
okay, here's my issue with that. Hold on, let me say this real quick. Because I am a person that believes a woman should not teach nor preach, and I don't know why they talk with clothes on, because nothing they say makes sense.
Facts.
So I'm with you. Because I believe that, I don't need female representation because they got clothes on, and if they talking and they're not reading from my script, it doesn't really matter what they say. Because girls contradict themselves in every sentence, right?
Hold on, real quick, Dirty Foot. I don't want to let this one slip by. Even with the pretty ones, like what Rada God is saying right here, he's saying no because we had that previously patriarchy. The space when DEFCON 5. People still wild out even on the pretty ones. It doesn't matter.
I don't remember any pretty women on your channel. I remember
what do you mean my channel? What do you mean? Hold on. What do you mean my? Hold on, stop. We want to talk about my channel. We was talking.
Okay.
Pearl ain't never been on my channel. So we're not talking about my channel. Like you keep going back and forth from
you had a
my
little
channel to
ugly
the larger
woman on
space.
here one time
Okay.
with big eyes.
How do we exercise Pearly? How do we exercise Pearly's what do you call it when you take the spirit out, when you take the demon out of somebody? How do we facilitate that? That's what I'm trying to figure.
I think
when Google YouTube says this is the bitch that we're going to put here now, and that's what's going to be represented. How do we exercise that demon from the manosphere at large?
First you got to recognize it's a demon because ugly women are evil people, right?
Light skin, bipolar, biracial light skinned girls are the devil, bro. Any girl with a black mom and a white dad, black mom and a white dad.
Patriarchy's mixed. You gotta be careful.
But he said women.
Oh, okay.
But ginger white women are the equivalent of that.
That's
which
fine.
he is.
But that's fine. But here's the thing. Everybody likes Jordans. I haven't had a pair of Jordans since they stole my Jordans in '89. Fuck Jordan. So if you don't like the content, it doesn't matter what everybody else is doing. You find what fits your swag. You know what I'm saying? I used to like this is what I didn't know her name at the time until Bernard said something. She used to do the Patrice O'Neal and the trap rap and all those reviews, and she used to come up on our stream because if you pull up something, they show you like related content. That's how she got her buzz, and she did the work. So
who are you talking about now? I was reading the chat. Who you talking about did the work? You talking about Pearly or somebody else?
Pearly started with the reaction videos about.
Yeah. She did the work. She spammed the algorithm, and it ain't our fault. We can't control that people.
Big Nate does the work too. Bernard Riley does the work too.
But unfortunately,
and Fresh and Fit does the work too. And I need to hold on. Wait, time out. I got to do the work better. I'm getting my shit set up right now to where I'm going to have an in-studio show set up like her, and I'm going to spam that algorithm just like she did. I've done, hell, I mean, I got 25,000 subs. I've done the work, and I've benefited from the work that I've put in. I got to put in more work. So
but you don't, right? But you run the risk, right? Okay, you run the risk of hate speech or hate speech adjacent in misogyny.
Yes, I run a
does
bigger
not
risk.
run that risk.
There we
and
go.
That's where we 100% agree. Everybody agrees on that one, that a woman can get away with it more.
Well,
she's the new version of the N-word. Think about it like the N-word. Only black people can say it.
Whoa! Time out.
And I got one more thing. One more thing to say that I wanted to say this. How I view the women in general that's in and around this space, whatever we call this space. Basically, women are just making content. They're hitting the algorithm. Like I said, I can't control that shit. I can't control who watch them. I can't control how successful somebody becomes. So the only thing, and I don't really give a shit what they do in their personal life. So the only thing I just look at them as their, and shout out to Hood Conservative on this. I just talk it up like this. I just view them as allies in the propaganda war. Nothing more, nothing less. And I don't give a shit. And I do my content. People watch them. They watch them. Who gives a fuck? That's where I'm at with it.
And also, I need you to acknowledge she has been demonetized. You keep going over that. Let's just.
Well, I don't. Hold on. Wait. Time out, Nate. Wait a minute. I don't think she.
Just let me finish, please. Just let me finish.
Has she been locked up in Romania yet? I don't think so.
Not yet.
Well, when that happens, then she can come talk to me.
But what I want to point out is that a woman.
I want her to get equality.
Bro, you got to let me talk. What I want to point out is there's a woman who promotes terminating black boys in utero that doesn't get her channel fucked over.
Yeah.
She doesn't get struck. She doesn't get in any trouble. There's black women all over the goddamn black YouTube putting up their posts about aborting black boys. That's where our goddamn anger should be. I don't give a fuck.
Are they ugly?
If this woman makes her money and shit, I don't give a shit. How about the people that are murdering black boys?
Yeah, she's ugly. If it makes you
okay, well, she's
I'm sorry. Go ahead. You got it.
I take that back. If she's ugly, listen, I think all ugly women should be banned off YouTube. Okay? That's my opinion. I think that I'm just being honest, right? This is about power and money to me. I look at YouTube and the online space the same way I look at corporate America, politics, or anything else. I don't want them being in any position over men. I want men to be leading in all things financially. And I don't want any more YouTube money being dedicated to ugly women when we have men who are on YouTube who are kicked off, who are going to jail in Romania. I'm always going to put men first. And I don't care what the woman's saying. I don't care if the woman's saying 3 + 3 = 6, right? If a man is saying the exact same thing, I want the man to be paid more than the woman. That's just me as a man advocate. I don't root for women making money over men in no space.
I agree with that 100%.
We agree with you on that.
We need to go to Rumble.
Hold on, wait.
I'm trying, but I'm this is the black side. I don't know how to navigate the technology over there.
Yeah, I don't think anybody disagrees with what Patriarchy Strikes Back just said. I don't think anybody disagrees with that.
Yeah, like I don't care what you're saying. I would rather have dirty folks lost the channel. I would rather see dirty folks in the seat with Hafeez over Carrot Top.
I don't know about Hafeez, but check this out, bro. Here's the thing, and I'm with you. I girls who talk with clothes on are annoying. I get you. Here's it, but pussy is delicious. So when they naked, I love them. All right, so check this out. What you're saying, minus the body shaming. What you're saying is that you want men to support men. That's what we've been saying the whole time, how men support female content creators more than male content creators. But that is a man thing, sir. That is not the content creator thing. As far as, because they were talking about Cynthia G. I know what they're talking about. She has an all-female group, so she gonna talk about deleting, male fetuses. That's her thing, and that's her group. So it won't affect her, but it would affect other female content creators because men like to look at women, say that something's not his fault. I get it.
I got you. I get what you're saying.
Oh wow, that's deep. I've never heard it put like that before. Wow.
Yeah, if you don't watch it, dirty folks will sneak up on you with some logic.
That's some wild shit.
Don't get the baby memes fooled on you. He'll sneak up on you with some
That
logic.
was some deep shit. I like that.
But listen, I just don't want to see any more women succeeding in this space. I don't. I'm sorry. I think that I'm going to root against them every time. I'm sorry.
And
they need to go to OnlyFans where they belong.
Wait a minute, that would be too close to them doing porn, and you're against porn. Be careful. Don't want to contradict yourself.
Maybe they can read some books on there.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe these some more attractive than others, some subpar women getting all the success and money, regurgitating the things we say, maybe speaks volumes of just how desolate and lacking it is in, the general population of women in this country to find a feminine, cooperative, affable woman. That these women who aren't, at the necessarily the most attractive women in the world are garnering this kind of attention and the money they're making. Maybe that just speaks, you want Trip because a man who's never heard a woman speak on behalf of men and like even speak in a way where she likes men, has her sweater vest pulled down just enough to show her tits and her cleavage. And now she's got 40,000 subscribers and is getting $300 cash apps. I think maybe there's a bigger picture to look at, and I think that, because again, these women aren't the finest women in the world. Not all, some are more attractive than others.
She has to be one of the ugliest, though.
I'm not going to say that about her.
Well,
but of course you can. You can. That's the beauty of it. You can say it. I'm not going to say it. But the fact is that the fact that these women can garner the attention they do and make the money they do, it speaks to the absolute thirst there is in a lot of brothers that just aren't getting the opportunity to ever be around an affable woman. Ever.
You're right.
Okay, but here's where I disagree with you, but not totally, Nate. They don't say what we say. They say what Kevin Samuels said. Kevin Samuels was really a pro-woman content creator. Y'all just missed it. It's the only man. I'm be honest. Y'all missed it. It's the only man that y'all ever saw win an argument with a woman. And that's what.
No.
I gotta agree with.
I've won countless arguments with women on here, so that wasn't it. That wasn't it.
That was bro.
He did it at a large. What'd you say,
bro? Look, and I'm not knocking it, but
he did it at a large scale. I'll say that he did it at a large scale. I don't think he was a pro woman content creator. He definitely. If anything, he was out to tear down and just defeat all of their self-esteem to get them to, I won't even say lower their standard, but understand where they actually rank. So he beat all the self-entitlement out of them, all the delusion and high self-esteem out of them. I can't say that's
not what he did. That's not what he did.
I can't say that that's
and the argument is not going to do that.
No. I'm gonna cam up for this one. This is what I want to explain. Check this out. What Kevin, he did that also, but we've been doing that since high school. See the prettiest girl and tell her she got a pimple, so she crying, and you try. I understand breaking down self-esteem.
He refuted they shit on. He refuted and debunked they shit on a large scale. This is how I always described him. He dangled the carrot of the high value man to lower them in there, to sit them down and essentially debate Black Manosphere talking points.
No,
and that's what he did.
No, what he
that's
did
what he did.
What he did was he did that as initially. That's the you got a pimple on your nose. I got that. That's the intro. That's me coming to girls and like, shorty, you spit or swallow, and she cuts me out, and I'm like, yo, spitting is rude. I get it. What I'm saying is he was still pro relationship, pro marriage. He was trying to get women to date in her price range so she could find a man to love her ugly ass.
He was turning the women looking for CEOs towards the plumbers and the carpenters.
Right. He wanted black love.
He did.
And I would say this.
Those
carpenters and those plumbers didn't deserve to have those horrible women pointed at them.
Oh no, he would tell some of them that they don't even rank for a plumber or a carpenter because those men can make six figures. So he would tell them that they don't even rank for them. But damn it, it just slipped my mind what I was going to say. Shit.
But if you listen to all these female content creators, they all.
Oh wait, no, I got it. I'm sorry, I just remember. He was pro relationship, but he was pro that relationship as much on the man's terms as possible, with the man leading, with that woman bending and submitting to that man's will. And so I can't knock that, because if you are going to be pro relationship, if you are going to be pro family, if you are going to be pro marriage, you got to preach it from that standpoint. And so he was doing that. So I had no problem with it. I don't like when we just start fishing for a problem. I mean, there's no perfect advocates out there. So I don't want to just go to fishing for a problem.
No, I'm not fishing for a problem. I'm saying that the content that the ladies are doing is not the content we're doing. They're doing the content Kevin Samuels did. There's my only discernment.
There's truth in that. There's truth in that. Just wanted to make sure we framed Kevin Samuels' content as close as possible as right.
My thing about the Kevin Samuels content is it had to be about relationships because it's easily duplicatable by women. So Kevin Samuels, and the reason I say he was pro woman and not, I could say pro marriage, but pro woman, because marrying a black woman is pro woman. I don't know any like alpha males who marry black women. You just volunteer for slavery, right? So if you don't want to volunteer for slavery, then you don't date on. He did the best he could do. But what I'm saying,
I got to chime in on this because I am a proponent of marriage as a guy that filed for divorce, fought for custody, won it. The reason I'm a proponent for marriage, I have told this space, don't you ever get a conventional marriage ever, under any circumstances. Women collectively have lost the right to conventional marriage in this country, period. But marriage is the cornerstone of civilization. Brothers are not looking past their own personal issues. You have to look at this in a macro sense. A country without marriages is a country that is going to collapse. Am I telling you to go out and marry some ran through nightmare whore? Absolutely not. But if men are about solutions, and that's what makes men valuable, ultimately, the fact that we solve problems, you solve the problem of how to build a bridge, you solve the problem of building, vertical skyscrapers. We solve problems, okay? And I don't think the answer is fuck all marriage, fuck them kids, fuck all women, they're whores. It's not the answer, man. I'm telling you. Okay, your civilization will collapse. Okay, it will collapse. There won't be any country. Okay,
look at what we got right now.
Fine.
Let's find solutions.
Okay, here's the solution. I just told you.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna take everything you said on a macro level, because marriage is a micro level. That's a one man, one woman thing. On a macro level, men build society. I totally agree with you, right? So when men build with men, men can build skyscrapers. Men try to build with women, they have sandboxes. You know what I'm saying? They build a castle on sand because women don't build. Women's job is to interior decorate what men build. When men stop trying to be completed by a woman, then men will move with men, and women sleep with the logo. Women just
it's a good thing nobody in this space says men should be completed by a woman. Even Kevin Samuels, he said your goals and your missions and all of that is first and foremost. That woman should be barely second. He said you like third or fourth to you out increasing your value and being all you could be. Like, so
the man is supposed to be the center of the woman's life.
Yeah,
not
like
that's
what this space preaches across the board. Rather is alpha male strategies talking about being on your purpose, Kevin Samuels talking about increasing your value. However you frame it, I don't hear nobody saying basically yield, bend, submit, and make everything that you accomplish and do, make it all for the bitch. Nobody is saying that.
Okay,
I don't hear that around here.
Okay,
so
I agree with you. What I'm saying is the female content creators take that same message of how to get a high value man, how to create an atmosphere that he does anything for you. It's reverse slavery. All they did, this whole soft girl winter,
that was garbage.
All they're doing is they're taking male talking points, telling the men you are right, the men are paying them to say, "I'm glad you said it wasn't my fault," like everybody else has.
Fact.
And
Men are paying them?
what?
Yes. Yes.
The
Yes.
soft girl. Oh shit! Because I know everybody in this space called that
Dog
out
the
as
soft
bullshit.
girl shit.
Everybody
Yeah.
in this space called that out as bullshit. But on their actual channels, they actually have male audiences over there?
What?
Yes.
You're being sarcastic.
I
There's
don't
not
watch
many
they
men
shit.
over there, dog. Come on.
I watch some of their like pre-recorded content so I can make some content on it. But when they go live, you telling me it's
Dude, I've
I'm
gone
talking
to
about
these.
the soft girl era chicks. When they go live, it's men in the audience sending them money.
Yes.
Holy shit! God damn! See that's
Nigga,
why.
there's people on Baby Mama #5. Dog, my right hand to God. I heard some
There's a
brother made
channel called
content
Baby
about
Mama
Baby
Number
Mama #5. A nigga called in while she was live streaming and said, "Well, they burned down Black Wall Street in the 1900s. How are we supposed to build anything?" This is a fucking black man saying this shit to her. And then she's, "Oh, well, y'all can't build and blah, blah, blah. You should." Why any black man would be talking to women like this? Those niggas are you have to forget about those niggas. You have to completely forget about them. They're done.
Yeah, you gotta
Finished.
forget about them.
Seeking validation from a woman like that. Forget it.
I agree with you, but my point is they paying. That's my point.
Listen,
Yeah.
But I ain't tripping.
Yeah,
As a conservative,
I'm gonna say,
fuck them. Let them waste their money. I don't. To me,
I'm
it
gonna
doesn't
say
matter.
this. I'm gonna say this, and most of y'all aren't gonna like this. Okay, the die is cast. The die is cast. Okay,
Fact.
and much to the effect of what patriarchy has brought up with Pearly. Before you will see another black man rise in prominence with this message, you will see a black trans man rise in prominence with this
No,
message.
no. Think about it. It's the same logic.
Yeah.
It's the same You can have somebody like. It's the same thing Fox News does. They'll put Caitlyn Jenner on to say that the tea movement is wrong and like, oh, I feel so empowered. Now I don't want to say it, but because you're still operating by political correctness rules. You're like, well, I won't say anything about illegal immigrants, but I'll get an illegal immigrant to say it's the Candace Owens effect. They won't say anything about black people, but they'll let her say stuff about black. You know what I'm saying? It's
And
literally
they
the
will
same
not
thing.
place any hurdles. They will not place any hurdles, any obstructions at all. Like the obstructions that you face, that Nate faces, right? Versus what Pearly faces. She will face that trans man will face less
Someone
obstacles
said
than
Pearly
Pearly.
is one.
Shout
I
out to
think
Roger
that
Ailes
men-
for putting pretty blonde bitches on TV. Thank you.
Oh, and I want to say one thing.
I think, hold on real quick. I believe that men on the free market of YouTube,
Here we go with this
that they can choose. I'm talking about men who can choose what to click on and what to
Thank
give average view duration to. I tend to believe that the men of Earth would not elevate a tranny to the level that they've elevated a channel like how Pearl and Fresh and Fit both all got 1 million. I tend to believe that they're not going to do that.
Bernard,
I
Bernard, you
will
get
not
shorts,
go there.
right? You get
I
shorts,
have to
right?
see that to believe it.
Right. Well, look, you get shorts, right? Right. You
What'd
got in your recommendeds, right? You have the short section, right?
Yeah.
Where they do the
now
short.
they can.
And they slip all kind. Don't they slip all kind of ridiculous stuff that you have zero interest in those shorts and exposing it to you regularly, even when you try to curate that stuff out?
Yeah, they could spam the short feed because you don't just YouTube the way it works. You can't when you looking at shorts and you just scrolling down, you don't know what's coming next. So they can spam you with anything when it comes to shorts and give you views.
And that happens all the time, right?
But whether or not you subscribe, that's the human element where I say, regardless of the controlling powers that patriarchy is talking about, the human element of it is not going to subscribe to a tranny trying to talk manosphere talking points.
Oh, this is
how many? What is the percent? Okay, you're saying that, right? Let me refute that. How many, right? Is what is the percentage of 1 million from 400 million?
What? You throwing out the math? You must got the answer.
Population of the U.S. is roughly the population of the right. Let's assume the population of the U.S. is 400 million.
Okay.
How much is 1 million?
Answer the damn question.
well,
Don't be
4
pop quiz.
million.
Don't pop quiz me. God damn it! I ain't
4
Too
million.
late in the show for that shit. Go ahead.
4 million. 4 million is 1%.
That's what I thought, but I didn't want to say
Right.
it.
So a 1/4% puts Pearly at the top of the pile.
Wow.
That's all it takes is 1/4%.
It's crazy. See, this is the thing.
Of subscribers, that's the difference between subscribers and view. Well, damn, what I mean,
Yeah, no, she's got
like
the
that.
viewers too.
A higher percentage of people actually view it.
I have a question.
Do you see it now? Do you see it?
I have a question for patriarchy.
Yeah, still the human element of
Yes, sir.
subscribe. Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question for patriarchy. So,
sorry for going
again.
hard, but it's just, I don't like seeing women win over men. I just don't.
No problem. No problem. I do have a question though. So, women are going to make content, unfortunately. Okay?
Yeah,
they're going to make content. Which would you rather see them make? What?
Makeup
Whoa,
videos.
let me finish. What baby mama number 5 makes, what Tanya TKO makes, or what just Pearly Things makes. Which would you? Let me finish. What would you prefer predominate women's content or content produced by women? Which do you think ultimately is more beneficial?
I don't think any of it's beneficial. I
You
think
have
that,
no.
let me.
both
Can
are
I
gonna
finish?
get
Can I
made,
finish?
bro.
Can I finish? Can I finish?
Go
Right.
ahead.
We don't need more women like this talking about men's issues. Pearly should be learning how to make. Can I finish?
I didn't say we needed
Can I
them. It's
finish?
gonna happen.
Oh my God!
It's gonna happen.
Let me finish talking.
Go ahead.
She need to be learning how to make a casserole or make a bed or make iron somebody's clothes. I would rather see content like that from women, right? Versus like what you're doing right now. I don't want to hear you first off, I don't want to hear you repeating things that men created and making money off of them. I don't. That's the problem that we have in the world today.
The
right?
cat is out of the
There's
bag.
a bunch. I agree. It is out of the bag now. I agree. Now we can put up a lost. Can you please help find our cat? Right. What I'm saying is this: everything Pearly has done. You're right. I have a crappy YouTube channel. Did Pearly work harder than me? Of course. Did Pearly work harder than a lot of men? Of course. But I believe in the gender pay gap. Okay. I don't think you should be paid as much as a man. I think men should be paid more.
I think that you're giving Pearly way more credit than she deserves. Because Pearly doesn't handle her channel. So it's still men doing the work. Pearly's just benefiting as
don't matter if she at the top of it.
She at the top of it. But
that's what business is. You create the system.
I'm not knocking that.
And also women, they're going to make content. They're going to do it.
No, it's not even they're going to make
content. Content.
I'm not even going that route. The route I'm going at is, if you want to see a man on top, do you want to see a man on top, or do you want to be the man on top? So that's the question you have to ask yourself, because somebody made a executive.
I'm not a king. I'm more of a court jester, but I got you.
All right. So somebody made an executive decision that they're going to help out Nakia. They're going to help out Pearly. No woman on OnlyFans makes money except the women who have a man that manage their OnlyFans. Girls don't know shit. They just do shit. The strongest woman is a woman that can follow instructions. So you guys are amazed by these women, but they just follow instructions of a man. If you guys want,
nobody's amazed. Don't straw man.
Yeah, I'm not amazed by him.
If there's a man making her money, then I'm fine with that.
If you want to see a man on top, then you have to.
If she's giving her money to a man, I can respect it. I take back.
I don't think that's happening.
I don't think she's giving her money to the man.
No,
well, then that argument's done.
They not.
Giving it to a money.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question to the panel, real quick?
You got employees.
How much of this is this pale-skinned 6'4" white woman doing much of what she do with black people and allegedly in black spaces? How much of that is that?
That was fake news to me.
Yeah, none of that stuff is about. I've given it to all of the women who talk like.
No, it was just a question. It was just a question.
The Chantel woman, the woman with the bad lisp, the Hispanic woman, and her. It's like a UN. They're like the United Nations of manosphere people now. Who are women.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
The black people are there voluntarily and being paid. So
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's so funny. No, that cracked me up too. How the manosphere be getting blamed for chicks that I ain't never even heard of. It'd be weird. Yeah, so that's why I don't
Can I ask you this? Can I ask you gentlemen this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we agree? And I know PSB is not going to, but can we agree that with the coming deluge of negative news and negative shit, we've seen what happened with Mr. Tate and the what the forces he's up against? Can we agree that having these women doing this is good optics, though?
Oh God! Now the optics argument.
It's an honest question.
No, it was an honest.
Well, let me finish. Let me finish. If you have all of these left-leaning, Marxist, goddamn mainstream media platforms coming at us, being able to say, "Wait, there are women associated with the space. There are men who listen to women in the space. Why would women repeat the things that are filled with hate against women? What are you talking about?"
Okay,
Nigga, I'm not talking about relying on them for our defense. I'm saying being able to point at them and say, "Look, you can't accuse us of racism. You can't accuse us of sexism."
You're merely blowing up the problem. You're merely showing the problem that they're not going to jail for saying the stuff, and we are.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was going to get. I can illustrate this one for you real easy here.
Go ahead.
Right. We understand that there are Hasidics that sell drugs, right?
Sure.
Does that make the drug dealing business look any better because there are Hasidics that sell drugs?
No. You're equating Black Manosphere with drug dealing?
I'm equating no.
Okay.
I'm equating the optics of how the leftists view Manosphere content.
Okay.
And so they're going after, right? They went after Tate to begin with.
Okay.
Based upon him speaking hate speech, which is in their version, misogyny is hate speech.
And you take down the biggest guy, all the little guys will get in line.
To an extent, but that's not even why I said no. Here's the thing. These are some masculine, burly, bareback, butch. Look, when so on Facebook, right? On Facebook, I am a Facebook woman, right? Because I got tired of going to Facebook jail, and I want to see if I change my gender on Facebook, if I can actually say what I want to say without going to jail, right? And it worked for a little bit. I have a homegirl. She's still alive. I was about to say had. I have a homegirl, Jenny. I love Jenny. But Jenny steals my posts. She doesn't share my posts. She copy pastes. She doesn't change a pronoun. She doesn't listen to he or she. Jenny cut pastes my posts, right? When I post my posts, it's a bunch of girls talking about some.
You must hate your mother. You hate women. You probably gay. If you had a girlfriend, you wouldn't talk like that. Misogyny.
Right? Jenny cuts paste my posts, word for word, verbatim. You know what her comments look like?
What's that?
You're strong, Nubian queen. You're so intelligent. I don't know why you want me.
Yes.
Oh man, that's funny. I like that.
So when you talk about a woman saying men's talking points, she will be seen as the leader, even if the man is seen as a pariah. You got to.
Okay, well, by who? Who will she be seen as the leader by exactly? Like what type of people are we talking about?
Apparently everybody, because girls get more cash apps than Bernard.
And again, all I'm asking you to do is take one more step, right? In the thought process there.
Okay.
Once that woman takes male talking points, she becomes the head and the lead, and that subsequently cease to be what? Male talking points.
Facts. Subversion.
But I'll be honest with you, as long as women have tits and ass and big lips, I don't know how you defeat that.
Which this girl doesn't have those.
Oh wow!
I don't know.
Yeah, so we're coming back to Pearly. Okay.
No. To be honest with you, bro, leaving Pearly out of it. But you subvert that by, I don't know, corporal discipline, some type of punishment, some type of what's the word I'm looking for?
You can't punish a random YouTuber. That's why this conversation gets pointless.
Right. There you go. So if you're talking about, because what you guys are talking about is manhood, but you're not really creating a man culture. So what you guys are doing is you're saying, and I see this all the time, like guys I kind of like, you know what I'm saying, but they'll say like, yo, we need each other. Men and women are in this together, and I'm like, we are not in this together, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Until I can be at work and call the police and say a girl hit me and they arrest my wife while I'm still at work, we are not in this together.
So I'm sorry, and I'm going to presume here. I'm going to be very presumptuous and say that I'm going to correct you in it. We're not we are not trying to create a culture. That's not what's happening here. What we're trying to create is rather an enclave in which a culture can exist.
Bernard.
Because that culture cannot, because by the system, by the environment that exists today as it exists, and as we are seeing it move and march forward, that culture cannot exist within that environment any longer in that manner.
So in that
Bernard.
enclave, you'll still get a subversion though, because you didn't
Bernard.
create a culture that you can call people anti-Semi. You know what I mean?
I have a
Go ahead,
question,
Nate.
Bernard.
Go ahead, Nate.
Bernard, we talked about on the phone a possible show idea where I had
Nah.
a hashtag. You want me to leave that alone, or
No, you ain't gotta leave it alone. It's like the conversation on women making money on YouTube.
Yeah, I came up with a hashtag for it.
Yeah, you can go ahead and tell them the hashtag.
You want to tell them the hashtag,
you
Bernard?
can go ahead. It's like what thing? You can go ahead and tell them the hashtag. But I just want to say the conversation about about women making money on YouTube is going. It's going way longer than what I cared for it to make. I remember even when Dirty Folks says women getting more cash apps than Bernard. When my channel was performing at its highest, I mean, because it fluctuates, it's up and down now. It was a lot of these chicks that I was making more on super chats than what they were. Like a lot of them, like some. So I've never been that dude that looked at the money that they was making, because a lot of them couldn't fuck with me as far as what my channel was doing. So, but I mean, but.
Do you think women should get paid equal to you?
Generally, no. I want men making more.
All right,
especially if you're talking about male-centered content, I want men making more in that realm. So definitely,
I don't care
definitely.
what it is.
Yeah, I mean,
listen. I don't want none of you niggas making my muffins.
It's a lot of nuance to that. And the conversations get dumb. I mean, whatever the job of being a nurse is, if a woman go to school, she get a nursing degree and she's nursing it up and she's a nurse.
Yeah.
God damn it, she deserves to get paid what a nurse gets paid, and that's just that. I mean,
I still think a man should get paid more. I'm sorry.
I understand. I think. Wait a minute.
Is a
Everybody
real
chill.
issue.
Everybody chill. I personally think society works better if men are making more money than women. So I'm with you on that. I'm 100% with you on that. I think that's a very patriarchal thing to say, because when men are successful and making money, rather some people who MGTOW like it or not, when men are on top and leading and in charge and dominant, then yeah, women and children do get taken care of better and society falls in order. So I'm with you on it from that regard. But at the same time, you know, two people, if they're doing the same job and putting in the same work and performing at the same level, the American in me can't say no, you got to make less. So that's why I didn't even want to go down that rabbit hole of that nuance. But overall, I get the sentiment and the spirit of what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now to what Lil Big Nate was talking about, I'll let you go ahead and set up. I'll let you go ahead.
B. Riley.
I'll let you go ahead and set up that concept, and this is going to be I'm serious. This is the last time. No. Seriously. No, it ain't. I ain't
Let's
even
hear the
tripping off what you're about
hashtag.
to say. I ain't even about to hear. I ain't tripping off what Nate is about to say. I'm just saying this is the last time I'm going to allow a conversation about women doing manosphere adjacent, red pill adjacent content and making money doing it. Because at the end of the day, it's no way to control it, and I don't give a fuck. And men, the male content creators in this space shouldn't be blamed for what a woman does with the YouTube algorithm to grow her audience and make her money. And I just think that's bullshit when people try to do that. So that's why I'm done with the shit. I'm done with the shit.
I do concur.
But go ahead, Lil Big Nate. You got it.
All right. I called Bernard a couple of months ago, you know, because I'm coming on Sundays to do the shows and stuff. I had an idea for him. And, I didn't know how he would react to it because, Nate's somewhat abrasive and there's people that don't like him, of course, and that's fine. That's fine. But so I was like, man, there's always this debate going on about the women and, how they make so much more money and their channels grow so much quicker than, for instance, channels like mine or whatever. And, I personally don't really have an issue with it outside of what I discussed earlier, but I came up with a hashtag that might help address this, right? Now, when I say this hashtag, I am not suggesting we have the right to go demand money from any woman. We don't.
I do.
What I'm suggesting is, since these women, like I said, my little 2,500 subscriber channel in 9 months made almost 30 grand with no monetization. I never once got a super chat. That's just PayPal and Cash App. So I know these women have got to be making probably 80, 90, 100 grand a year off this shit. And again, we do not have the right to go and demand money from them, but I think demand should be made, right? I believe they should use their platform to advertise brothers' events, brothers' products, brothers' books, their shirt line. If they have actual bobbleheads, I don't give a fuck what they have. These, as long as they're legitimate businessmen and their products are legitimate and quality, these women's platforms should be used to advertise it for free.
That's hilarious.
And the hashtag is, why do you leftists want to tax the rich when we can hashtag tax the bitch?
Facts.
Tax the bitch.
Facts.
You know what? Tax the bitch 2023. I'm with that.
No,
thank you. All right.
The thing is this.
Stand with me.
Hold on a second.
Okay.
Let me-
Tax the bitch.
Yeah,
Let me just say
you
something.
lost me for a minute. Then
No.
I like rhymes. I'm from Chicago.
You like that, don't you, man?
Hold on a second. Hold on. I want to say something real quick because I don't really think people understand what Nate is getting at, right? And I don't think people, number one, recognize the world that we live in, understand politics, or understand power. Women right now understand all those things, and women operate in all those things. So everybody, it's a fat guy with a blue crew neck. Stop pocket watching. Stop pocket watching. It's so funny to me because this is the exact conversation Amber Rose had with Murder Mook, right?
Oh my God!
Nobody. Hold on a second. Hold on. Nobody pocket watch. Let me finish this point. Nobody pocket watches wealth and extracts wealth more than collective groups of women. And if men, instead of them coming together, right, and forming groups of their own to play within the same game, they just throw their hands up and say, I'm not going to do it, because they're still operating in a traditional mindset, whereas women operate collectively to go after men's money. This is already the world we live in. If I'm already on a football field, I'm going to play football. Women pocket watch everything that men do. They do it in every workplace that you're in. They do it in the media. They do it on YouTube. They're always stretching for quote unquote equality. Why is it now an issue when men are doing the same?
I don't think that's an issue. Here's my thing. I mean, besides the extreme fascination that we're having over toddlers getting money, I don't believe. I'm just saying, because I mean, in my personal life, I don't believe that a girl with more than $2 in her pocket is worth talking to. But that's my personal life, and I operate as such.
Oh my God.
No, I'm not. I mean, it might be seen misogynistic, but I think it's governmental, because I operate my life the same way social services does. You can't have money, you can't have a job, you can't earn more than this, so I can't look out for you. I treat girls like her caseworker treated. You know what I'm saying? She could take slavery from the caseworker, she could take slavery from me. But that's a personal decision. It's a personal decision whether or not, because women really only get along to hate men and to vote for the wrong candidate. It's not like they really like each other. What they do it's not a intended thing, bro. It's not. Girls operate like strippers, bro. Like, they get the money, they spend
Fair,
the
rational
money.
assessment.
They get the money, they spend the money. It's not
I
like
definitely have super chatted you before. Sorry.
Yeah, it's not like they get $100,000 a year and now they got $60,000 in savings. Nah, bro, they got a lot of purses.
Hey, GC, I was about to wrap the show up, but I do want to hear what you got to say on that. Say anything to bring division between men. I do, if you're available, I do want you to come up. Thank you for the super chat. Patriarchy Strikes Back. Do appreciate that. He says increase the gender pay gap. I do want to get your thought, hear what you got to say on that, GC, before I get the hell up out of here.
I just want to say this real quick to Patriarch. Check this out, bro. At the end of the day, man, regardless whether or not this is edutainment, it's still entertainment. And women run entertainment in all sectors, bro. Whether it's music, whether it's media while they're young. You know what I'm saying? There's always a new, cuter, hot, a new Scarlett Johansson coming, but in their prime.
And there's always an old raggedy Vivica Fox in the background.
Yeah.
Who's jealous of the new one?
And first of all, that's biology, because they always are jealous. If a woman is not married, she's jealous of her daughter. The only safe woman is a married woman. Because they're just, they're not good people. They're not good at being people, generally speaking. But they're delicious when they're naked.
Now, I mean, what do you say about a political party who lives to destroy the idea of marriage? Women think this political party works to their benefit when the only place you're safe, the only place where with you aging, you increase in value is in the confines of a marriage with a man. In an open dating market, the older you get, your value drops off a cliff.
I think you're not worried about the wrong thing. I think you're worried about a masculine thing, because it's a man's job to think 3 steps ahead. Women think like strippers. I just told you. They think.
But my contention has always been that I don't think all women are trash. There are some women out there that are listening. And if it's 3% of them, so be it. Let them listen and let them benefit, and let the men who don't want to have to learn a foreign language or travel have access to those women. That's always been my position.
Well, it's 9%, because only 9% of, if you're talking about black women, only 9% of black women
voted non-Democrat. You're right.
And only 9% of black women under the age of 55 are married. Go look at the
mirror. I didn't know that.
All right. Wow. Jackie Jack with the bitch tax, and she apparently paid her bitch tax twice.
I was trying to pay again. It wouldn't let me. I was trying to.
So what I'm saying to you, bro, is I get what you're saying about women don't see the future. But my thing is, if in a micro level, if these girls have 3 voices in their head, and all 3 voices have their own nickname, and you talk to girls, they'll tell you like, that wasn't me. They got a party nickname. Why would you elect those people in leadership and authority positions?
Well, that's what the left does. We don't do that on the right.
Exactly.
Primarily, we don't.
It was rhetorical, bro. Like, why would the left do that? They do that because they want the chicken in the pot right now. They're not thinking about the chicken farm. So I get you, and I understand your frustration. It's a cultural frustration. But when you listen to Girl with Clothes On, you'll get these type of results. But girls run entertainment though, so you got to let them entertain, bro. Like people.
I need some steps on how we're going to tax the bitch.
What? Hey,
wait, hold on.
We got to say that for the next episode.
Nate gonna do a show on that, but it is a hell of a slogan. Don't tax the rich, tax the bitch. It is a hell of a slogan.
Tax the bitch.
Yeah. So Nate should if you want, you still should do a show on that. But go ahead, GC.
Yeah, so what I was saying to Patriarchy's point about how women are organized to work towards a collective goal, I think that is one major advantage that women have collectively over men. And that is because men, whenever we can't really, for a long term, especially black men, for a long period of time, we don't really work collectively because historically we look at each other as mating competition. So what we tend to do is, in a case of a place like the manosphere, is we look for small wedge issues, and then we try to polarize them in order to polarize the manosphere. For example, women making money or women in the manosphere, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, some people may be for it, some people are against it. What women do in cases like this is they just say, okay, but we have a greater collective goal and we should just ignore this small difference. But what men tend to do is like, no, I want to point out this difference, and I'm going to make sure that each and every single conversation is about this difference. I want to make sure that the percent that's on this side and the percent that is on this side separate. I'm going to do that. And then once that's done, I'm going to take those two portions, and then I'm going to find another issue and divide it again until it is no longer a united front. That's what we do. It's kind of in our nature. It's pretty primitive and stupid, but it does make coming together for one collective goal almost impossible. Yeah, it's mega shit is what we call it. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So in order to move ahead as any collective group, you gotta avoid the nigga shit and the niggas that do it.
Separation. Yes, sir. I've been preaching for years up here.
I didn't mean to come in so hard, Bernard, but I just, I don't believe in equality. I do believe in the
Did you pick up that you are the nigga that did the shit that he described?
I don't know, maybe just a little, maybe just a little bit, maybe just a little bit. Maybe he came up here just a little bit, just a little bit. Maybe I can. I think I may have won some people over. But listen, I don't want them leading or talking about anything outside of cooking, cleaning. They can do makeup videos or stuff like that, right? This is when let me tell you why this burns me up, right? Because what I'm seeing is the exact same thing I see on ESPN, right?
Oh my God.
I did a whole show on that. I did a whole show on. Okay, so what is the difference?
I got like 20,000 views on a pre-record on that.
And I just feel like this is going to turn into like Molly Kiram or the sideline reporter, or what's the all of these like female people that do rundown on football games. It's like, why are you talking right now? Why are you not doing anything outside of cheerleading on the sidelines, which is what they should be doing?
Here's the flaw in the logic of what you're saying. ESPN is a channel that you have to actually come through the door of, get hired, and they create the programming and put you on there. YouTube is not a TV station. Like I said, it's just an open clusterfuck. Yes, it makes it easier for anybody. Put it like this: it's this dude called I think his channel is called Please Act Right. Nobody knows him. Nobody has knighted him in, high-fived him, or welcomed him. He just sat back, listened to some Kevin Samuels, listened to some other Manosphere shit, and then just start titling his videos some kind of way, and in the most corny way imaginable is saying Manosphere talking points. And I think he got like 80,000 subs, and nobody even knows who the fuck he is. I don't even know what algorithm he in. Okay. That's my point when I say that this ain't ESPN. We have no control over this shit. Anybody can hear anything and make content about it. And if they do it effectively and hit the algorithm effectively, they're going to blow up. So that goes back to Game Changer point, is trying to create a wedge issue over some shit that none of us can fucking control.
Okay, I got you. We can't control it, right? But all we are is just a bunch of people expressing our ideas, right? But it's not a place where everybody can say everything and it's an open market, because Nick Fuentes would still be on here. Right, Tommy Sotomayor wouldn't have been.
All right, now you're raging at the machine, and we with you on. Let's fight the machine. Let's rage at that machine and not create division between each other.
I'm not trying to create division. I'm just telling you my perspective. My perspective is this: in order for females to exist anywhere, there has to come a hard steel hand that has to come and protect them, right? There has to be things that are natural that have to be redirected in order for them to not only survive, but to thrive. And what I am saying is I am for using that same hand to protect and help men. I don't want to see them doing well in this. The same way I don't want to see them doing well. Let me finish. The same way I don't want to see them doing well on ESPN. When we have men who are out here who are former athletes who can't find a job. So also, I don't see them sharing in any of this burden. I don't see their names being on FBI watch list. I don't see any of them going to jail in Romania or Bulgaria based on their comments.
Now you just circled it back to the part that everybody agree on. That's almost a Hafeez tactic.
Okay.
And
all right, I got you.
If I could chime in real quick, let's consider the fact that I know PSB doesn't like that things are moving as slow as they are, but let's acknowledge the CEO of Disney has been put out and they've put another one in. Gillette lost $8 billion in market share with that nightmare of a commercial they put out in 2019. There is a response. Is it coming fast enough? No. But there is a response. People are suffering. The message is being sent that you're pro-LGBT cartoons, you're pro-LGBT movies, you're pro Obi-Wan being dominated by a fucking 7-year-old Princess Leia and being chased by a wigged up black Sith woman. None of this shit is going to play out well for you financially. And they're getting the message. We need to be persistent. We need to keep doing it. That's what we need to do. And I understand. You're a young nigga. You want blood and shit ain't moving fast enough. I understand that. But as an older nigga, trust me, things are moving in the right direction. Is it fast enough? No. But CNN is down 90%. They had to take Don Lemon and stick him in a morning show that nobody watches because nobody watched his primetime show. MSNBC faltering, failing. Even Fox News suffering because of their goddamn betrayal during the 2020 election. They are paying a price. We just need to keep and be persistent. That's it.
Agreed on that one.
Words never been spoken, my friend.
All right. So that's it. This is
all right, I'm
out
of here.
Show. We all out of here. But yeah, this is supposed to be a 2-hour show, but it God damn it. I like and can't stand Patriarchy Strikes Back all at the same time. He does. You know what? He's a goddamn light-skinned obsidian. Somebody called him that in the chat room, and I know exactly what they mean. He come over here and he just say some shit, and then the whole conversation changed. He has that skill of just
yes, he does
of just throwing some shit into the conversation, and then it just turned into 2 hours. Yeah, god damn it.
Bernard, can I make a Manosphere meetup announcement real quick?
Yeah, make
real quick. Yeah,
make it quick because I'm so ready to go.
The lovely Miss Gail at Night, along with the lovely Miss Michonne Denise, will be handling registration at the Black Manosphere meetup. I'll be trickling out stuff on Bernard's quite a bit, and when you give me my 100 subscribers on Rumble, I'll be talking about it there too. Salute.
Wait a minute. Are you paying this? These women?
Why is that important to know?
Because it's an opportunity for me to divide the people who are going to the meetup between those who feel that men should not be giving women money and those who are okay with it.
The ladies are being well taken care of. I can tell you.
Excuse me. I see men organizing, and I see an opportunity to cause division in that organization, and I'm going to pounce. In fact, I don't feel that women should be there participating at all. And I think that a lot of the brothers who would have gone would agree with me.
Wow.
And I think it shouldn't even be registration. I think anybody who just wants to walk up could just walk up, and it shouldn't be any registration.
Absolutely. Oh, well, I will consider that.
That was some of the division before that somebody tried to call about why do we gotta have registration? Why can only certain people come? Yeah, people just bend over backwards to find whatever division they can.
But to address Game Changer real quick, the ladies are going to be well taken care of. Game Changer, I promise you. They will be so happy coming to this event, and maybe even you would love to come. Hopefully, we could talk about it.
All right, when y'all make one on the West Coast, then we could definitely talk.
Understood, sir. Understood.
All right. No, that ain't the West Coast, Keeping you be in damn the Philippines and shit. You can make it to Charlotte, but anyway. All right, but we out of here, y'all. Thank you everybody for coming on through some sort. So I can't even talk. This has been too long. Thank you. We out of here. Peace. That's it.